Shit. Still zoomed up. Problems with my StreamYard. I'm going to write them after. Maybe I'm not paying them enough. That pisses me off. It screws up the whole setup. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's just me complaining. How's it going, everyone? We're going to have Jeff Benoit coming on with us this evening, to talk about, he has a French channel. Not a lot of people from here are going to understand his videos, but he's English, so he will be coming on tonight to have an interesting show as a special guest. At the same time, the link that's in the description of this stream is his link to his channel. For those of you that do speak French or just quite simply want to encourage him by subscribing or checking out his channel. I was on with Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic today. Excuse my closeness once again. There's a problem with the camera. So if I was interviewing someone with me right here beside me, we wouldn't see them. We'd have to stick our heads together to be able to see each other. So maybe it's because I lost weight and that's it. Now, oh shit, I didn't think of that one. I lost too much weight and it's zooming up the screen because I can hardly be seen anymore. No. Well, it could be something like that. How's everybody doing? We have a Cylin Loves Light. Now, you know how I never miss any comments, or I try not to miss any comments. And I always try to get to everybody's comments. If there's a contribution, I will be seeing it while I'm with Jeff Benoit. And we'll try to answer also some questions. But it's going to be interesting. We're doing it freehand. For sure, there's no preparation needed with Jeff Benoit. He's a funny guy, English guy. He has a lot of similar subjects that he's interested in, fields. Jeff Benoit has done radio before. He knows a lot of MUFON investigators also. He interviews a lot of them on his channel. A lot of them are French, of course, the ones that are here in Quebec. But like I said, he speaks English. So maybe one day we'll be able to expect some English videos with our friend Jeff Benoit. Margaret Leach is in the house. Coffee already. Thank you so much, Margaret. That's awesome. We got Jeff on. We'll be coming on this evening. Just sent him the link. You know me, I can't send out links early because the links don't work. It's like I can't schedule a live stream either because it doesn't work. A lot of problems. I'm not able to control the closeness now of the camera, which absolutely boggles me. I don't know why it does that. I have no idea why it does that. Margaret, thanks a lot for coming in. Fait qu'elle est hausse en général, in general. On the French channel, those of you, there's not many here, but some of you do come to the French channel. On Sundays now. It's funny you asked that, Aleaus, because Jeff Benoit, it could be that Sunday he couldn't, and it was Saturday that we were going to stream. I'll wait till he comes on. I'll find out that fast enough because it depends on you, Aleaus. Sunday it's what's pas embarqué dimanche, right? That's why I said Sunday. If all is well, ça devrait être correct, ça. On va essayer de s'arranger comme ça avec Jeff. Au pire, si Jeff ne peut pas venir dimanche, toi, tu vas embarquer avec moi dimanche, on va faire un show. Aucune planification, exactement de qu'est-ce qu'on parle. Des fois, on fait des shows juste en se parlant dans les commentaires. Là. Fait que that'll be fun. So, 432 and no code. It was just 432. You got to be careful with the codes today. There's our friend Elias Valhatla's other channel, Crazy Music Space Jam. Check out his beautiful music setup. And he's working hard and making up some cool videos, by the way. Playing his own music also, which is always fun. Like my music channel. It's always a fun channel to be able to set up a music channel and test your skills. And it's really fun. We have Peter Benton's in the house. Hey, Bruce. And I'll thank you very much, Mr. Peter Benton, for being here. Welcome, as always. Post something to alert peeps in the community. Sunday live stream. Ben oui, of course. Aussitôt que ça finit ici, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to put up the live with Jeff Benoit. I'm going to wait to be sure to confirm the day to see which day will be okay. There's one day that he was better for him. He's got kids too. So, Julie Parker, how's it going? Thanks for coming back. Very nice to see you too. Thanks for coming in, you guys and gals. JT is in the house. Morning, Bruce. Thank you very much. Good morning, sir. JT in the house. Thanks again, Julie Parker. Sugar B, how's it going? Thanks for coming in, you guys. That's really awesome, as always. We have Mr. Adam Truthfinders in the house. Thanks a lot, brother, for coming by. Whoop, skipped right over my brother, Joel Burgess. How's it going, my friend? From myself, the Miss, and the twins. Well, thank you very much. Love you guys. Thanks for the incredible support to the channel for stopping by and checking in. Really appreciate it. Hello to you and the family, Joel. Thanks a lot, you guys, for listening in. You guys are going to have a good time with Jeff Benoit. I'm going to find it really interesting. David Donlan, am I repeating myself? I don't think I saw you yet, but maybe I did. And forgive me if I'm repeating myself. Thanks for the beautiful message on Patreon, man. And first of all, thanks for being there. And at the same time, I don't know if you wanted to come on public one day so that we can chat here or in private. It's an option that's totally open for you. I'll get back to you on Patreon if you want in a day or two, and I'll double check. Anytime, man. No planification, no preparation. We talk a lot about the same things here on the channel. So yes, absolutely, David Donlan. Any day you decide to come on, I will give you a heads up ahead of time, like in the next live streams coming up, whether it be a Wednesday, whether it be a Friday. Absolutely. And of course, we can do some shows here sometimes, once in a while on a Saturday when other people come on. So I changed the live stream dates, Saturdays to Sundays on only the French channel. So if you're new here to the channel, Ovni Quebec Astronomy is my French channel. By clicking on my channel here, Bruce Cizal, by clicking on the icon that says channel or channels, you can click on there, and there's a couple of shared channels that I've shared of some people that share my channel out too. Can't have much more of a list than that because a lot of people sharing, but you will see my French channel there, Spanish channel, and music channel if ever you're interested. Not space related for the music channel, but it's still a channel we have a lot of fun with. So David Donlan, thanks for being here, man, and the support and everything. And I would be more than happy to come on. And again, don't be shy, whether you let me know here or if I see it, you know how I am, or on Patreon, whether you want it to be private or personal, which is not a weird thing. A couple of people probably want to come on private. I've never done it yet. Just to tell you, all the people here and over the years, it's never happened that I've gone on to do a private stream with anyone, and that's not hard to do. I can make an unlisted stream, drop the link in Patreon, and boom, we're talking online. So again, giving you the chance if ever you want to come on and talk, you and I here live, you can do that too. So leaving the option open for you. I took a hell of a long time to reply to that question that you asked, which was probably about a month ago. I'm very sorry for that. And Nicholas Carlson, we have Jeff Benoit in the back room with us, which I'm not going to screw around. Hi, Jeff. This is cool. Hey, Jeff, I can see you, man. Nobody else can. Guys, I want to have him on right away because Jeff Benoit was anxious to you. So we can. Yeah.
What's up, Bruce?
Look at the sound. Just the sound of his voice. Chills.
Oh, well,
man.
How are you doing?
I don't think we have echo feedback. If ever there's an echo feedback or something, I'll put on my my headphones. But no, awesome. We have absolutely. Jeff, how's it going, man?
That's pretty good. So this is the first live we're having together speaking in English, right?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I didn't even know you were English. I didn't even know Jeff was English, guys. Like I had no idea because when he did the French streams or videos, obviously you speak good enough French. Unless I was like probing you with my eyes to find out and listening my ears to see if you made mistakes. But I think we make this. Jeff and I would make the same mistakes in French, I think.
That's right. No, it's because sometimes I would send you a message in English and you would speak to me in French, but I'm like, I think he thinks I'm French, but it's okay. I mean, listen, but we both found out.
I did, and I'm like, what a cool Jack. He's talking to me in English on top of it. I said, he's doing copy paste to talk to me in English, but you understand English yourself. And anyways, you're a guy that pretty much is used to talking in public and stuff like that. Because you did a little bit of radio. Is it okay if I talk about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen,
you don't have to name any place, but if you want to or whatever, just a little background. Hey, there's no planification tonight. We didn't need any. With you, we didn't need any. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk. We're gonna laugh. There's no subject.
Well, a little bit about myself. For those who don't know me, I Well, first of all, before all this, I got into politics. So I ran in one
Right.
provincial and 2 federal elections. So I was a
That is
candidate
awesome.
there. I was running there. So
In Chateauguay, right?
and Chateauguay, yeah, in the riding
Right.
of Chateauguay-Lacole. And so after my elections, I realized that my talking to people was doing a lot of good because we were in the narrative for 3 years. And so I realized, I said, you know what? I'm going to go and do what I really like because I got the platform, I got the people, I got the base. So I said, you know what? I'm going full throttle because paranormal for me was my passion. Well, when I say paranormal, I mean like everything. We're talking about ufology, we're talking about ghosts, we're talking about everything, anything that makes
We'll be touching base on that. Continue. Yeah, for
awesome,
sure.
great. Anything. Because at a young age, I have experiences, a fascination, and I had very open parents. So for me, that was a great opportunity to explore the unknown. So then, while I was doing that and other podcasts and stuff, because my page Jeff Benoit Live on Facebook is much like Joe Rogan. It's like it touches everything. I do everything, but mostly I do a lot on the paranormal. So then all of a sudden I got Carol Lozé that says, "Hey, I would like for you to whatever." And then I got her on my lives and stuff, and then she says, "I would like for you to come to the radio up in Lévis." So CGMD 96.9. It's a French radio. So I said, sure.
Yeah.
And oh my God, since I did it, she told me, and this is no word of a lie. And I never like to brag, but for me, it's like, wow, I'm very honored. She says, since you've been on the radio with us, our viewers have went up. I said, really? I said, come on. No, she goes, really? And with the other people that are coming on. So basically, a lot of people in Quebec, in the Franco world, don't have the luxury of what we have in the English world, right? With all the
Right.
access to information. So
It's true. It's
we're
true.
telling them, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's like we invented fire." Yeah,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
they were gobbling that up, and it's been a blessing since then. And I got to meet wonderful people like yourself, and people who are watching. And look, and it's just the beginning, and sky's the limit, man.
Sky's the limits, man. You're growing your channel, 600 and some subs, and hopefully close to 1,000 at one point. And you probably will be doing some English at one point.
Yeah, I will. I mean, like you, thank you for mentioning the on YouTube. Yeah, I have a YouTube. I have 2 pages, but they're in French right now. Jeff Benoit Live and Jeff Benoit Live 2.
Yeah,
2
link
is
in the
more,
description, everybody. Link in the description of this French one right now.
and obviously those are like the paranormal one is Jeff Benoit Live. I got 600 some odd people, but on Facebook I'm close to 6,000 people following, but I haven't even done anything English yet. I haven't even got into there. So it's a market that I haven't explored yet, but I will eventually. And judging from tonight, I'm looking at you, Bruce, and you're a great prime example too as well. I look at it like how many followers you got on the English side? What, close to 100,000.
97.2 now.
Damn, that's
97.2. Yeah.
that's
Really
something.
happy, man.
That's something,
It
man.
is. It's a milestone. I'm
And I'm
honored. I
not
mean,
saying like you do a lot of research, a lot of hard work. I know you're somebody with high integrity, and
thanks, man.
obviously, I mean, it doesn't come overnight, but that's good because
Right.
there's a reception there. There's people that want to learn, people want to hear it, and especially, well, obviously, you invested a lot. People appreciate that.
Absolutely. You're following on Facebook. That's really cool because I'm not on Facebook anymore. I had problems. They got me off. I gave too much of my opinion with the politics. If you can understand what
You know
Mwah,
too
mwah,
much.
mwah,
You
mwah.
talk too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, you will talk too much. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it was funny, right? I got censored by doing a live on censorship. so so I'm like, oh, did I just touch the sacred vow? Oh, but no,
It
seriously,
is crazy.
it's
It's just
crazy,
crazy.
the
And
censorship,
to the
man.
point that I'm talking with you now, and when I'm talking with people online, and you talk and you're like, whoop, 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 we can't go there. Okay. And you go off on another one, another tangent. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't say that. Shit.
No,
Can't
and
say
then
that.
all of a sudden now you're in metaphoric. Now you're doing sign languages, and even then
Yes.
you got to be careful. So then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, the thing there.
Well, okay, you do that. Me, it's this.
Oh,
That's what I
that's
do every
right.
time.
You know the thing there.
I
Oh
said
yeah.
it's not like I took the I got a strike. I got
Oh
a
yeah.
strike
You
for doing
told me.
that. So we're talking baseball here, man, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hilarious, hilarious. So you are into paranormal a lot too,
Yeah.
for sure. You're like you said, you were born in an open family, so your parents were open. So that means if like me, because I talked about spirits, and I talked. My mother was open to, even though it wasn't hype of the 1980s, but people that have spiritual encounters have a tendency to bring it up
Yeah.
as kids or whatnot, and it exists. You know what, like me,
Yeah.
there's other dimensions, other worlds, even though we don't have the exact understanding of what's around us. We were talking about it, I think, exactly on the channel
Yeah.
with you, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
the dimensions, but the interest in it. But I said, because, and that's another thing we mentioned on your channel, is that there's so many terms, like the UFOs that people are seeing the lights around. Now people are starting to mix up drones with debris,
Yeah.
with airplanes, and even helicopters. I
Yeah.
mean, some people are saying, "Oh my God, look at this UFO landing." You see, blop, 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 blop. Usually UFOs don't have strobes. There's characteristics. So there's ways to be able to detect that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that's a great fascination what you just said right there, because with all the new technology we do have drones, we do have these helicopters now, we got all types of military whatever, but it's also two people have also noticed that even though the airplanes are up in the sky, they don't look like airplanes. They may seem to be like airplanes, but they don't. And that's where you have to distinguish the differences. Like you were saying, there are
Yeah.
certain characteristics that plane have like a uniform to it, like with the flashes and the colors and stuff like that. But
You
then
know a
when
lot
you
about planes, Jeff, eh?
well, I was in the Royal Canadian Air Cadets, so I got
There you
really
go.
to. I was on Baguetteville when I was a kid. I learned everything what had to do with avionics.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
at a young age. So when I had that famous sighting in Lachine, Quebec.
Wasn't the machine, eh? All right.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen many things, but just that one, when somebody goes, "Hey, I think that's a drone," I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
geez, guy."
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like get some Omega, Omega 3. But no,
Yes.
it's like that. There's no characteristics right there. That is 100% genuine, unidentified flying object that's not ours. And if it is ours, it ain't on the encyclopedia. So
That's
for
it.
sure, that's something that
Yeah.
that people can,
Speeds, characteristics, what they do, if they appear and disappear. I
yeah,
mean, airplanes always have strobes and lights going on and off.
that's right.
But when they're leaving an airport, I have someone that I know that, I'm not going to name the person, they film UFO videos, but they're planes that are leaving, or helicopters leaving the airport, that are not flashing their lights yet. Because when a helicopter takes off, it's normal that the pilot, sometimes there's a little game of a minute and 27 seconds, or maybe 2 minutes, where he didn't turn off his floodlights, like the landing lights.
Yeah,
So then, whoops, then you see the strobe, and
yeah,
then you see the plane with the lights, and because there's an actual direction with the plane lights, right? Like, if you see red,
yeah.
and if you see green, you know whether they're going left or right. Sort of
That's
like
right.
the
Yeah,
buoys in the water, right? Like left, red, right, returning, or whatever,
yeah.
or green. I could be wrong on which side it is, but it's like a direction: red, right, returning.
No, I think it's red left and right is green.
See, that's why I sunk the boat. I sunk the boat. I didn't make
Sorry,
it.
Ma.
I didn't make the boat. Yeah, exactly. Red, right, returning. Who would have known it wasn't that? I miss my. But there's a direction, with the wings, the colors, to give us an idea. Drones also have some colors on them, right? They have lights on them too. Maybe not like wings, but in the front they got red, green, blue, or sometimes even yellow, and because it's going to get complicated at one point when people get start mixing up the drones. But a plain light is not like a light of a UFO. Even a
No.
UFO light has a completely different light as
Yeah.
compared to the UFO, and
Yeah.
they don't, like the ones that I filmed taking off here, and with the infrared camera. I was really happy to see them get really big, the light, and then fizz out. Because a plane won't fizz out. It'll do the opposite. Yes, if it's a landing light, I get it. I'm not going to hide it. People say, well, it could be a landing light. Yeah, but it's at the IGA in the field. It's 11:30 at night. I'm telling you, there's no helicopters taking off from the field,
No, and why would there be? And if there is, that's questionable, right?
Yeah, and I've seen helicopters take off before, and the lights don't do that. That's like the whole vehicle's a light.
Yeah.
Helicopters, you could see that there's a darkness and shape, a little flashing at the back tail.
Yeah.
And when they move in the sky there, I mean, helicopters don't go like this and this there. They go like that, and then they fade over them. I'm on the knee. They start going down a bit, But a
Yeah,
UFO,
it's a smooth movement. They have no
yeah,
choice because aerodynamically they're not meant to do sharp angles. But also you got to
exactly.
understand too that if you're looking at a vehicle that has either traveled through space and time, well, obviously it's not going to be running on diesel fuel, right? So it's going to be a type of a vehicle which is going to give off some type of either electromagnetic fields. It's going to give off some type of glow. You don't know. Look, I don't know. I'm not Bob Lazar, but I mean, look, seriously, I mean that you can see the differences if you have either one, the training or experience, or if you have the equipment, because now you got some people who are like, what do you call it, UFO researchers and stuff. Man,
Right.
you should see what they have. Like they have infrared, they have all types of stuff.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, they're fully equipped. So when they say, "Hey, listen, that's real and that's not real," it's because
Yeah,
they
and
know.
there's some things that you need other devices because there are certain frequencies that we can't see, not just in space, but here on Earth, I guess, if they're trying to find out certain things on an aircraft,
Yeah,
like a lot of people ask me, Bruce, can you see those lights without the infrared? I'm not going to lie. Often, most of the time, the UFO that I'm going to look with the infrared,
yeah,
if I pull my eye away, yeah, I can see it. I
yeah,
mean, I when I started, people said, "Well, that shouldn't be," and I said, "Well, I'm sorry, it's what I'm seeing." They say, "Oh no, you can only see." But then the truth came out when I started filming them. Jeff, there's quite a few UFOs that I cannot see with the naked eye, and I
yeah,
only catch them with the infrared.
yeah.
Those are the rare ones. I go, ah, yoy, I can't see it. I can see it. I can't see it. I can see it. So that's another frequency, right?
Yeah, well,
Another
there was a guy on YouTube that I saw. He was taking two cameras. He had one that had like a filter on it and night
right.
vision with like a black filter. I don't know what they're called. I'm not a specialist in that. And a regular one, and you could see in the regular one there was nothing in the sky, but in the camera that was right next to it, you could actually see it in the sky. It was
Exactly.
there. It was in a different light spectrum. So
Exactly.
now that what with just from that information, and so let's say an example. Now we have an extraterrestrial race that comes to our planet and says, damn, they starting to know where we're at, but maybe let's
Right.
do something. We know a little bit about them. They can't see in outside the spectrum, so let's camouflage like the Predator does, in the movie Predator.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly does. So he goes invincible, but it's still
Yeah.
there. So then I'm asking myself, imagine the stuff that we don't see that's there right now.
We have
Just
the
like in the
cloak.
movie They Live, when the guy
Oh,
Roddy Piper goes like this and then he puts on
yeah.
the glasses for the first time and all of a sudden the whole world is different.
Absolutely. He puts on his glasses. Hey, Aleos, merci beaucoup, mon frère, pour cette généreuse contribution. Trying to keep up going down here to the bottom. I get a lot of people that come to the channel, man. They are
Yeah.
holding back the channel. They are definitely holding back the channel. You'll see we're at 60 people.
Oh, really?
You were talking the other day there, and it won't be much more than that. I'll get about up to 100. I've always been minimal people here,
It doesn't make sense because you got close to 100,000 people
Exactly.
that follow the thing. So either you are being shadow banned, maybe there's maybe 600 people you don't know and they wrote 60,
Yeah,
just
that
to
could
make you, or do
yeah,
it on
absolutely.
purpose so you have lower algorithm, but in
Absolutely.
reality people go see you afterwards, right?
Right. Well, there's 100 there was 70 watching concurrent. So that means 70 at one time.
Yeah.
So after a stream, my streams get 2,000 views.
Oh, good.
But these days, or right after, the minute I'm done, it's 1,700 when we finish a stream.
Yeah.
It'll take maybe 2-3 hours to start seeing the numbers. But since a couple of days, it's been scary. I keep making the joke. I said, wow, a lot of people are dying off. We're down to 1,300, then we're down to 1,200. You can see that they control, certain people. Aleao says, wow, the stream promises to be more than interesting. 5 minutes that you are together, and you already rock the place. Great to hear you in English, Jeff. Yeah, absolutely. Because some people here, Aleao, c'en est un en français.
Ah, ben oui.
On a du monde en français. I get some French people that come to the stream. Boy, they're so cool. The English people are cool. French comes, leaves a little comment, and just sits in and listens because some people find it cool listening to somebody speak in another language. I even started a Spanish channel, Jeff.
How that's fascinating. That like, I mean, to be able to speak Spanish is awesome. I want to just say something. Premier, Alias, merci beaucoup pour ton soutien aussi parce que Justement, tu me suives autant. Puis pour tous les gens qui suivent Bruce et moi, merci beaucoup pour votre appui. I looked at it. Remember our live that we did together? Remember it was like a
Yeah,
few people because of the whole thing.
yeah,
We're up to 2,500 views on my channel
that's good.
on
That's you
Facebook.
mentioned. Yeah,
And yours on Facebook on YouTube is about close to 600 views.
5, 6. Yeah, oh, well,
So you see there that it's I think it has to do a lot with their stupid algorithms. But listen, you know what? I'm going to tell you, you keep on, telling the truth, and then one day another Elon Musk is going to come around and he's going to
yeah,
buy YouTube and he's going to say, "Sink it in, baby, sink it in. Take it."
exactly. That's how it is. No, it's true.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey,
Yeah.
thanks for coming in, everybody. Suzanne, I am Kai. So we got Scratch. We got a whole bunch of people. Like I said,
Yeah.
we're talking to Jeff Benoit
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
No planification. We talk about anything because you got a lot of interest, like the people what they like here, the paranormal, the UFOs,
Oh
and
yeah.
you also interview a lot of MUFON people, right? Like you're in the club, right? You know a lot of MUFON people. Like I
Yeah.
consider you my half radio bud. You
Oh,
know,
cool.
radio buddy. Well, it's because I was on with Carol also
Yeah.
on CGMT, CJM, MD
CJ. Yeah, yeah.
96.9 à Lévis, Québec. Carole Lozé, zone parallèle avec Steve. Anyways, I love them. They were able to get me on, and that's why I wanted to meet people. That's when the French channel died.
Oh. Oh,
it
really?
just it just died. I
Oh,
know it's
wow.
obviously it's not Carole that killed it. She wanted me on, but anyways, it was cool to get out to other people. But there's a lot of
Yeah.
jealousy in the subject, and a lot of people disagree with each other in the subject. I get people all the time. Do you get the flat earthers? And I got
Uh,
nothing against them.
yeah.
It's just that
No.
they come, it's flat, it's round. I said, neither, guys. Piss them
Yeah, I
off a
kind of
little bit.
lost I kind of lost it the other day when we were doing a live because
That was fun.
even even though I have a great admiration for people who think outside the box. So basically if if you're a flat earther, that's great. It's good for you because the facts are very compelling. So for me when I was looking at that, I was like, wow. I mean, if I was somebody who didn't really believe in the traditional space and how the world is, but I
Yeah,
mean it's very compelling. So I
sure.
I respect their theory, and when I did a live on that, I hit 16,000 views because it was a subject that a lot of people were fascinated about because
It's
it is something that can be feasible.
yes,
But one thing
absolutely.
that pisses me off is that I understand that you're a flat earther. I believe you. I believe what you're trying to say, but don't constantly come on there and say, "Oh no, that's not real. I mean, that's fake," and "Oh, that's fake," and "That's
Yeah,
fake," and it's like, dude, like, okay, we get the point, like we
that's the
understand, but
difference with somebody that trolls or somebody that's educated for real. Like I have a lot of people that come by here. It's pixels, but it doesn't get further than that. It's pixels and it ends up you're fat. Okay, bye. Wow, you really ruined the channel. You really exposed me. you
yeah,
know?
yeah. No, but I understand, and I'm starting to learn it slowly because as I'm in it, I know there's a big ego. There's like a hell of a lot of ego. Like I remember once I brought in all mediums, like hypersonic people, yeah, mediums. Yeah, we could use that term.
Yeah, yeah,
Some people
yeah.
don't like that term, but it's the term that everybody knows.
Right?
So yeah, mediums. And all of a sudden I got after the show, one medium's telling me, this guy's not true. This guy's not true. Oh my god, this guy is what he said. I'm like, well, dude, like how do you know that? Like,
I'm
how
a
do you know?
medium.
But like I said, everybody has their own thing and whatever, I mean, there are some fakes out there, but it doesn't matter. The fact is if somebody has now, I list George Norrie. George Norrie is the one, Coast to Coast with Art Bell and George Norrie. Though that show was the thing that popped my cherry. That when made me say, "Oh my god,
Yeah, I
this is
miss them,
something I
man.
can do." And I remember there was a woman talking to George Norrie one night, and she was talking about unicorns. And she's going off, and I'm driving my car going home because at that time I was working nights. And I'm like, oh my God. And I could hear in George Norris, it's like he's shaking his head. It's like, what the hell did I just do? Like this woman was like off the spectrum. But I had to give
Right.
her credit because it was something that she believed in. It's something that in her world made sense. And somewhere in some land far away, there's somebody who believes the same way. So who are we to judge those
Exactly.
who
Exactly.
believe in alternative thinking? So and I'm for that. I'm thinking outside the box, guys. So now,
Yeah, like I
yeah,
can comfortably reply to somebody, "I'm not there yet, but I love that interesting theory." I'm a very, easily able to politely tell them, "Yeah, I get it. I understand totally what you're trying to do. I'm not there yet because I sort of think this, but I never get mad at theories." A lot of people follow me here say, "Bruce, I don't think there's aliens on the moon," and I said, "I don't think so either. It could be just humans." They're like, "Oh, okay, so." They don't know I'm
yeah,
opened up. I'm
yeah,
opened up. It could be just drones. Yeah, okay, sure. But
yeah.
something's there. I'm just saying something's there. I'm not saying that,
What is something is there, and the moon is such a fascination. I know a lot of people say, yeah, but there's Mars and all that. Yeah, trust me, there's a lot of planetary bodies that I would love to explore. But people ask me, says, if you had a chance to get into a spaceship, where would be the first place you would look? And I would say the moon first. Like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah, no, seriously. Because the moon, apparently, and this is what this, like I said, this is thinking outside the box. But if
we're
you
we're open. You're at the right place for that.
there you go. If you look at history, if you the more you go back in time, the less they talk about the moon.
Yep.
The less they talk about the moon.
Yep.
They talk about other things, but they don't talk about the moon. So the
No.
question is and there are some cultures that think that the moon, they refer it as an egg, that it has to do with an egg and something about life and the whole concept behind the
And
moon. So
hatching, I imagine hatching, right?
hatching, yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
but life or something like that. So I can't go in details because I didn't really, it just came at the top of my head. But
No,
the
it's
thing
interesting. It's
the
interesting.
thing
Yeah.
is that the moon itself is an enigma. It doesn't spin. It stays fixed. It has some characteristics that are very, very weird. That when there
It does
were
spin though. It does spin. And that bugger spins, eh?
yeah,
It's locked, but it rotates, but it takes 30 days to make a turn as compared to the earth that makes a turn every
but
24
it's
hours.
facing always the same side.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see,
I know.
that's the characteristic. And another thing is that obviously we've been on the moon because there is instruments that are there, and they said when there are impacts on the moon, it rings like a bell.
Yeah. Like it's
Now, if it
empty. Like it
rings
was
like a
empty.
bell, it's because it's hollow. It means there's something
Damn
in
right.
there,
Damn right.
right?
Could be built.
So
Could be a spaceship. Like we're open boxing here. There, hot boxing. Let's say it's almost open boxing.
yeah, dude, let's
Yeah,
talk about it.
not that open hot boxing. I
Oh,
meant.
okay. Sorry. Because that too, there are some people that
Yeah,
they can
but
go off, but yeah, no, but
I'm not. I
seriously,
don't think that's exaggerated. The theory of even the moon being a spaceship. The
spaceship
the outer
or
core of the moon. They confirmed this last year, and again, when I say they confirmed this, it's the information that we get from NASA
yeah,
and scientists. They say that the outer layer of the moon is absolutely stronger, thicker, and more dense than the inside.
yeah.
And did you know? I just found out not too long ago. The interior of the moon, the bloody dirt that's in the interior of the moon, is younger than the dirt that's sitting on top of it.
Huh.
So it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, but do you know also what the Chinese lander, or was it Chinese or the Indian lander that was there? They have little robots there. Do you know what
Yes,
element?
Barashit, right?
What
Indian.
element did it discover that we didn't know it was there?
Was that the? Oh, I'm forgetting. Whoa, was that the helium-3?
No,
What did they
something that's
just
very essential to life.
water?
Water.
That's for sure. Yeah, of course they talked about water. Yeah, and
Now,
they had little bare little living organisms in that. Right?
mm,
Did you know that they crashed living organisms there?
so
What?
the thing is that if the moon has traces of water, now obviously, look, we're talking about if we're going to the classical way of thinking, right? We're taking what NASA's giving us and we're like, oh yeah, okay, let's play with what they gave us. But if we really look at what you've been pointing at and what you've been showing and what we've been and a lot of people have been talking about, that the moon isn't what we think it is, and that it has an atmosphere. And if it has an atmosphere, oh, Johnny boy, there's something else that could be happening there. There could be terraforming there. There could have been life there. There could be also a type of planet. And the reason why it has so much colors is because there's two atmospheres, a lot of a lot of and it could be also designed that way so
Yeah.
we don't see it, right? Because our
We
eyes are
breathe air.
very,
What are they
very,
breathing? Right? Sorry. Yeah, exactly. Like we breathe air. Who
yeah,
says they're breathing air?
yeah,
They're
exactly.
breathing something, but there is some type of chemical reactions that I showed you the last time we were
Mm.
looking at my UFOs. You know that one that explodes? It has a puff of smoke, then it goes sort of
Yeah,
descends down. It's either a chemical reaction in the atmosphere of the moon, but they're friggin' there.
yeah.
They are there, and the fact that it's not in the news, it scared me. It made me understand. Okay, okay, this is something people get friggin' killed for.
The
You know
question is who is they? That I find is
exactly,
the ultimate question. I think it's the
exactly.
fundamental question, because now if we could find out who, right, just by what probing or whatever, if we find out that it's aliens, it makes a lot of sense. Then we're like, oh, okay, we understand.
Right.
But if we're there, that means there's something. That means
So
now
scary.
if it's us, well, who is it? Was it a ancestor that migrated there? Now, is it part of that civilization that was prior to ours?
We
Or
talked about it on your show, eh? Remember?
yeah, yeah. Then we won't do the gesture, but
No,
or
no,
it could
no, no, because I'm not
or
Nazi, but
it could be a byproduct of Second World War innovation.
absolutely. They were so advanced. Hitler had, we'll just say the Germans. The Germans had a vehicle, a jet,
Yeah.
that is similar to the exact jets that the Americans have today. And the jet actually went 1,000 kilometers an hour or 1,100 kilometers an hour. It's the exact model of all American jets, which I'm pretty sure they back engineered it
Yeah,
from, those people back in
that's
the
right.
days. But he had a lot of tanks in Germany, like during the World War. There's lots of things that came out afterwards. Like you
Yeah.
must have heard of the Bell
Of
UFO.
course. Yeah.
They say it works with red mercury or something like that, or
Yeah.
red mercury or something, right?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what's inside of the thermometers and stuff. Apparently, that's like the fuel or something like that. He was testing anti-gravity. I think I have a hard time confirming it, but from what I'm seeing in papers and what seems like credible sources are sort of leaning to the side where there were documents that were retrieved apparently after World War II that
Oh,
the
of course.
Americans picked up. Yeah,
Why do you
about
think the Russians and Americans were rushing into Germany? Because they were discovering that the Germans were absolutely advanced. And that is why the paperclip, Project Paperclip
yeah,
happened,
yeah,
because they said, my God, why would we condemn these guys? These are guys is the cream of the crop. These guys are going to put us on the map. But they
exactly.
realized that even the not Germans, but the Russians had
Yeah.
their own little version of paperclip too. Why do you think the Russians, right after the Second World War, all of a sudden, oh, wow, they're into space? It's
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely. Nuremberg, they had Nuremberg. Remember where one, we're waiting for 2.0.
yeah,
Nuremberg, it allowed people to condemn the Nazis for what they did and
yeah,
their crime wars of crime.
yeah,
And no jokes, the people that were guarding the post outside that whole building were the SS Germans.
yeah,
And I got a picture of that. And you sort of see that Germans are, killing off everyone. They're at war. They're totally mutilating people and Jews and whatnot. And then all of a sudden,
yeah.
war is over, and you see them on guard with the American soldiers telling them to stand on guard outside to watch the place because we're arresting all these criminals. And I can't help but wonder that we talk about today the new one world, right?
Yeah.
And the order. So I mean, way back, who says like out of the box? Who says that the Germans didn't win the war, and that instead of changing to German language in the States, why
Yeah.
not operate with the same people? And I'm serious about that. Why not operate with the exact same people that are there? Even the presidents. Have a real president in the States. Have a real job, American person there in the States doing their thing. And they could have possibly gone to the moon, or maybe that's what the war was about.
All this German talk, there's probably some sensitive leftists saying, oh my God, stop talking about it. You're hurting my feelings. But
Of
no, but
course.
no, but seriously, like that, like when Hitler and look, we're talking to talk here. We're not talking about
Yeah.
praising Nazis, and no, we're talking about the Fourth Reich. If you really read in what Hitler said about the Fourth Reich, who said that the Fourth Reich was on this planet? Who said that Hitler
Right.
says, the Fourth Reich is elsewhere? Because
Right.
remember, Hitler was so, and Himmler were so into the occult and all about the fascination on man and the world and how you can
Experimenting, testing the
experiment.
body,
Yeah, and they,
children, combining twins, testing the eyes, putting big eyes in their sockets. And
oh
that's a lot they wouldn't have told us.
no,
Lots that they haven't told us. We got a story that they killed off a lot of one type of religious person. Very, very sad. And we don't know what the truth is. We don't know how many or not. And there's always lies with everything. But you can be sure they weren't pampering them. That's for sure.
no. Obviously, look, I condone everything what they did, but scientifically, when we talk about like vehicles of war and transportation, they were extremely superior in many ways, and yeah, the Americans took them all back, and the Russians too as well, and they found out that they were able to they were more advanced than anything, and because of the fact that you got to think about the atomic bomb there. Who do you think invented the atomic bomb? Where do you think those people came from? Right. So
Exactly.
well, so you look at that, and and then if everybody gets into to really thinking about, okay, so we went to the moon, right?
Right.
And when we were talking about NASA and how Neil Armstrong looked like this at his press conference after going to the moon, I'd be like, oh my god, I
It's
can't
a
believe
new
it.
age. It's a new age. He goes, it's
Yeah.
a new age. Then his bottom lip went up to his nose.
Well, that's it. But the fact is that they discovered something. They went there. They discovered something. Now the question is that when they went to discover something, did they say, "Oh boy, we can't stay here because it's hostile," or "Oh boy, this is a greater advantage that we can take because if we share it to the world, well then our competitors, which would be the Russians at that time,
Yeah.
would come and take advantage of that too as well, and then we would have a Cold War in space."
Absolutely. And they're mentioning it again. We're back at that space race now. The race to get to space. You have a whole lot of people trying to land. Tomorrow, landing Japanese private little spacecraft is going to land. It's going to land at and Mare Frigaris in the Atlas crater. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it. I do see a part of that on the moon because I have an amazing video of Endymion crater. John Lear had asked me to take a video with my 14-inch of Endymion. John Leary believed, retired CIA, he believed that they were producing nuclear up on the moon. I believe that 100% now, more and more, especially since what the Pentagon is saying. Some leaked documents
Nuclear?
came.
Oh yeah, nuclear. I think more and more like fusion, nuclear fusion,
Absolutely, they're trying to
helium-3,
create free energy.
free energy. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, helium-3, 25 tons of helium-3 can be brought back on one vessel, and that 25 tons can fuel the entire United States for 365 days.
Wow.
Helium-3 is 10 feet of the first layer of the moon. Because Earth has a magnetosphere, there is no helium-3.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's what they say. So it's interesting, because I'm still, speculatively open-minded enough to believe that if it's not a UFO, the moon, and if it's not empty, there could be very well magnetism around that moon, a magnetosphere. Maybe it's less concentrated than the magnetosphere that we have here. Maybe there's no belts like the Allen belts, but who knows? A lot of people don't believe. Do you believe?
So they say.
So they say.
You got a better singing voice than I do.
Aliens and women there. Alien women, would they have 3 breasts, Jeff?
You talking about?
Are you talking to me?
Are you talking about Total Recall here?
Oh shit! I wasn't thinking of that one.
Yeah.
Wow,
Remember that
I
one,
wasn't thinking. Well, maybe I don't know. I'd be into it. 3 boobs. It's like holy shit. Back to the moon. Do you think
that was a good? Yeah, that felt good. Yeah, that came out of left field. Like, oh, okay.
We'd have to limit ourselves if we were doing a show because it'd probably be just that. Because and listen, me, Jeff. I was gonna say moi. I appreciate so much some channels, the rare ones, because I
Yeah.
rarely see them, that talk about serious news and stuff, but that have such a funny way of presenting things. Because when I present this stuff, I try to be funny sometimes. It's not because I necessarily want to, so I'm trying not to be afraid. Aliens on the moon. Yeah, well, come up with some jokes, but in reality, the thought could be horrifying
Yeah.
because the structures that are there, you go, oh, schools, daycare, prisons, experimentation labs. You're like, what? It can go many
Oh,
ways. It scares the hell out
shit.
of me.
I think you just blew off some dust on something that's
Yeah,
part of well, I would say part of human duality.
yeah,
We
absolutely.
are the type of people like to enslave,
Yeah,
but think about it. If you remember, Stephen Hawking said, I mean, God rest his soul, but the late Steve Hawkins said, maybe we shouldn't be going out there and trying to get to make a lot of noise in our
you're
neighborhood,
right. I mean, that
because
was his last speech, right?
yeah, he did say, well, did we see how the Europeans treated the natives when they got here, right? And when you're an advanced culture, so
Yeah,
who says that these people come here, they may be grabbing us and enslaving us, right?
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
and that thought scares the bejesus out of me, because that fact right there says that if we are viewed as sub creatures, or cattle, or some type of lower on the bottom of the food chain,
Yeah,
well, the fact is that no matter what we have to keep ourselves like, hey, I'm a bit stronger than you, um but there's also another thought too as well, that if they would have, they could have, and they should have a long time ago.
yes, and it could be aliens on the moon that imagine look at it the other way because I always see there's two sides to a story.
Yeah.
Imagine the humans going to the moon and being presented bodies of aliens for experimentation that have passed away and that they're being stored there, but that they can't experiment on aliens on Earth because there's bacteria, and they would
Yeah.
do it in an enclosed environment, laboratory like environment on the moon.
True. But what
You
are they
know,
doing? What are you doing in for to do that? Right? Like,
exactly. Are they
what's the
making
motive?
hybrids? Like, what's the motive of having that? That's not for date night, right? Like, you don't create that. I'm not going to create, like, for Frankenstein, that as a wife, right?
Well, I don't know about you, buddy, but there's not enough condoms that I could put on that. No, sir.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And there's not enough alcohol that would say, "Oh my God, you're cute." No, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think so.
No, exactly.
I got
Especially not
standards.
exactly, and
Wait a
especially
minute,
not
I got standards. Okay.
exactly, and especially not Budweiser. But in reality,
Hold on, let me say I got Bud Light. Hold on.
yeah,
No, it's one of those fake cups.
yeah.
I use that as a prop sometimes when I joke around. But yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
well, you see, we
Seriously.
both have cup props.
Yeah.
That's a sign that we're gonna hit it off, make some good shows, man, for sure. But
Yeah, well,
it's
if the people like us, if they really enjoy the fact that we have an organic conversation, and that listen, I mean, you can explore the unknown in a fashion where you're like more in a intellectual setting, where we can be like,
right.
okay, class, there we're over here, and then like over here, but you also can also, and I said we can also reach the common folk when
Yeah,
when we could just not dumb it down, but like have a different conduit of language and laughing and analogies and stuff like that can
expressing high tech with
exactly.
regular everyday words like enthusiastic or interesting or encouraging, and not biometrical, infatuatedly rectal something. All
That's
these
right.
terms,
Of
all
course,
these,
we
you know, too many
talk about like
terms.
West Virginia. How about you know guys out of my choice? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. and, and people won't understand you if you come on. Hi, everybody. I'm going to be talking about heliophysics today, as we all know it, and starts friggin' talking. You got to pull people in, because I told people, hey, the black hole that's moving around, by the way, Jeff, in space is
Yeah,
200,000 light years away. And someone's like, what's a light year? It's true. Like, when professionals talk, not me, but professionals, when they talk about these fields, you don't understand them. Michio Kaku, cuckoo, you're listening to him talk, and he's talking about, fast radio bursts and quasars and stuff, and you're like, you just want to know if there's aliens out there or something, a,
Yeah,
a,
yeah,
a black hole moving around. Okay.
yeah.
Did you hear about the black hole that had a jet that was coming from the center? It changed positions and faced Earth, and this was NASA called that there.
I heard of it, but I didn't see it. I didn't read about it, but I heard of it.
Well,
So
it took off. The black hole left the galaxy with the two other black holes and is leaving a trail of small infant stars, which would be the size of planets, behind it, leaving a trail of stars. Because you were talking about, in a way, birth between the lines, like the birth, the hatching, that theory that maybe planets have to do a lot with the birthing of the universe. Birthing stars come out of nebulas, and all nebulae has star pieces that come out. Sometimes stars come out unformed. And apparently I don't know exactly what the term is, but did you know that nebulae apparently spit out geometrical shapes? It's like star formation. It's square, comes out square, or it comes out like a triangle. It fascinates me. But la nebulos, the nebulae, the Great Orion one, I got a picture at long exposure one, and man, honestly, embarrassing to say, it took me 2 years to mention it. They look like worms. They look like living creatures. The nebulae, like eyes and mouth to breathe in the front. It was the creepiest thing. It was like the first time I saw a placenta.
Yeah, no, seriously. It's that. It could be. I mean, listen, we don't know what's out there. I mean, all we're seeing is things that happened thousands of years ago, because people got to know that what you're seeing in the sky is light that's been traveling for thousands of years. So what you're seeing is the past, right?
Absolutely.
So they were talking about the big mega giant moon there, not moon, a sun there, Betelgeuse.
Right,
that it may be may cause a supernova, or it has already gone supernova.
Yeah, I mean, it exploded in 219. Betelgeuse exploded. I heard about it the first time in 2021 in the news. So it did explode. And remember, at one point in the news, it came that Betelgeuse is dimming down. It could be sign of a supernova. Then they told us, true or not, that an object did a conjunction in front of it. So a junction, the planet crossed in front of Betelgeuse, and it would have been one of the moons of a certain planet. That's what I heard. But apparently Betelgeuse blew its whole photosphere top off. The whole top of Betelgeuse exploded and went off.
That thing is big. Like, I mean, big. And they're going to say that if it does supernova, it will eventually, we will see the light, and it will be a nice big, very bright.
That's something that would last 30-35 days in the sky. It would be bright like a sun. We'd see it day and night for a good while. And that's like, I mean, it's not just, that's how space is. It's weird, eh? They say the further out you go to older galaxies. I have always had a hard time understanding that, but they're saying, James Webb is actually looking at the beginning of the solar system. It's like, what are they, friggin' time traveling?
Well, it's because, remember, light travels at the speed of light, but the fact is, the light that's hitting you now,
right,
millions of years to travel, right?
Exactly.
So what you're seeing is the first, like the photon of that time. So obviously, when we're looking at time, it's like saying, "Oh wow, look, there's a star." But as if you continue to look at it, the light keeps on coming, and eventually it's going to change and it'll disappear. Like, what happened? Well, because
and then you see the sun come up, and the minute it shows its face, you got sun in your face. You're like, how the hell did the light get so freaking close? Because maybe the sun's very close.
I know some people are like, what are you talking about, guys? What are you talking about? I know you said spoon, hair. What is that supposed to mean? What the hell? Just talk English.
Exactly. The sun, we don't know how far it is. They go, why is the sun and the moon the same size? Well, because the sun is 400 times further than the moon. That 400 times gives it the same size. Because you guys are morons. You'll believe anything you say, it's like,
and here's your omega-3.
There you go. Can I have two, Daddy?
But it's true, eh?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about what's going on. I mean, like, because so many people are concentrated on their cell phones all the time.
Straight up.
They have the greatest tool right here that has you have so much knowledge at the tip of your fingers now
Yep.
that you can find out things, but people are so they're I don't know. People are losing their way
It's
because
interesting what you say. It all the information is there. We're not going to hide it. If you want to
yeah,
learn about forensics, if you want to learn about bodies decomposition, if you want to learn about the field of archaeology, you have some real videos with real professional people out there that are
yeah,
actually, bless you, looking at exactly what's going on. Archaeology, people that work in archaeology, why don't they talk about the moon? That's what gets me mad. Why don't they talk? Why don't geologists say, "Well, holy crap! Well, yeah, look at that. That's definitely
yeah, but now here you just got into something now. Okay, there is what we call a body of
water."
censorship.
Okay.
Censorship. Okay, look. Okay, you must have heard of forbidden archaeology,
Yeah.
right? You have archaeologists that actually has discovered things in the ground deeper into strata, whatever you call it there.
Yeah, the stratosphere.
Stress, no, the strata layers
Oh, the
of the earth.
duh. Yeah,
Yeah,
not up in the sky and the
I
ground,
don't know
right?
what that. I think it's called strata layers or
Or the
whatever. But
magma. Yeah, there's a bunch
okay,
of layers.
all of a
Absolutely.
sudden they pull out this woman pulls out these beautiful round spheres,
Like
stone spheres.
eggs. Like
Yeah, well, they're
eggs.
round and they have like, and it's obviously you cannot. Nature does not work that way,
They
and
can't
those things
create them. I
you
saw that.
can't. But then she's like, "Oh wow, these are fascinating," because like, okay, then it may be from our ancestors back in the day.
Right.
But then she's like, "Well, wait a minute, whoa, that's 1 million years ago. Whoa, hold a second.
That
Uh,
mama's polished. They were polished. They're round as
you know,
frig.
that's a little old." And then she started discovering things that predate everything.
Yes.
And I've also read, because back in the day when newspapers were doing their job, let's say back in the early 1900s or 20th century, they were their miners that they were mining, and all of a sudden they came when they were removing the rock or whatever, they came to this wall of very shiny cubes that were like made up a wall.
Right.
And then they closed the mine. So they must have found something that was predated a long time ago. So
100%.
so science right there, so that what they did is when those people went public about it, well, they lost they were ridiculed, they were outcast because they were controlled. It was the same thing with the last 3 years that we're living with. Nobody could speak outside the narrative, right? The same thing with science, everything. You can't speak outside the narrative because there's so much goddamn ego and control that you can't look. Bruce, you can't tell me that if they have a nanobot that could shove up your butt and do something
Right.
amazing,
And they do,
you
and they have it.
and they have it. You can't tell me they didn't have a cure for cancer and AIDS. Come on,
They know
you know,
exactly how we're
come
made
on,
inside out. They
come
know how
on.
we're
So
made.
you exactly. So when we look at archaeology or astronomy, for an example, yes, there's tons of shit that's been censored, like the moon. Like when they were taking pictures and that satellite was going around the moon and taking pictures, how much they were blotching out, and we have proof that
That
they were
you
blotching
know,
out
in
things.
the leak that they're talking about, we'll be careful talking about, but the leak there that's has a lot to do with Canada. Did you hear there's recently a leak from a guardsman
Oh,
in
you mean for about the country that has two colors?
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. The
Now
intel
we
from
have to talk in metaphor now, right?
yeah, well, Canada, but anyways.
Canada,
Yeah,
Canada,
China too.
Canada,
We
Hana.
we're three countries now. We got Foundation American holding us up. We got China keeping our sidewalls up, and we got
Mm-hmm.
Russia coming in hot over top of
Yeah.
imagine archaeologists, okay, because real quickly they mentioned in the States real quick because to prove my point, to come to the point I wanted to say, they say that there are hundreds of thousands of people that are touching a message that comes in that affects national security. It's high. The highest person grabs it. He emails that to someone. Someone emails it to another one. Someone emails it to another. Then you get a breach where a leak comes out from the inside, everyone's like, well, it's not me. Well, that's not me either. you know? And do you find it not odd that if there's 300 people doing that, they were able to turn around and to point to a gamer. Literally, it's a guardsman that likes playing games online, because some
Yeah.
adults do now as
Yeah.
we get up into this generation. But do you believe there could be archaeologists, geologists, and telescope operators that are working for the CIA as agents in the establishments? Like, I can go as far as saying in the hospitals,
Of
in
course,
everything.
man.
They're
Yeah, of course.
established everywhere, pharmaceuticals, to have all control and everything. So something
Twitter.
happens in the war or military, whoop, CIA, boom, 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 message gets back. But the message that's being traveled around with high clearances, there are thousands and thousands upon thousands of agents in the States, and they're
Yeah.
all talking to their wives, and they're all talking to their best buds about what's going on. And it's okay if you only have Americans, but now you have American immigrants, which is super cool. They come in. Back in the days, we appreciated immigrants, even here in Canada, but they came in legally. They come in through the border,
Yeah.
because we want to save them, the immigrants, and us here in Canada, just to be sure there's not terrorists. Now they're bringing in fentanyl. They're doing a lot of stuff. So
Oh yeah.
the moon is, I believe, is really, really, really one hell of a big story. And like Julie just said, I don't know about, this is a whole other story. You have um all these different types of aliens. I'm not so interested when people talk about, the Enki, or they talk about the Sumerians. Well, that, yes, but I'm talking alien. I'm talking alien. When they
Yeah.
talk about alien beings and the reptilians and this, it's not that I'm not into it. It's that they're not even admitting. They just admitted that UFOs are real. And we have a lot of people, like, with respect to them all, like Linda Moulton Howe talks about, the different types of aliens. She was supposed to interview somebody, but these people are all filmatographers. Did you know that? She's a filmographer.
Okay.
Luis Elizondo. Okay, these are all people, Jeremy Corbell. Jeremy Corbell is someone that makes movies, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
I find it interesting that people that are filmatographers often have an inside club pass, like Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick, that did some work for NASA, actually did some filming for NASA. Yeah,
Yeah.
I assume, he could have done the Apollo landings or not, whether they're real or not. I mean, Neil Armstrong, when he died, he admitted a lot of things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I know when he's gone, that's it. I know there's gonna
Oh,
be
you're
some
like me
reveal
then.
there.
I tell
Oh
my
yeah.
community all the time, when he dies, that's when they're going to divulge who is up on the moon, because all the people, just like Kennedy, they're all passed away. The murderers passed away. Well, no, because it wasn't the
Yeah.
person they said that did it, but still, he was used as a token, and they killed him after. Hey, do you find, not to linger too much, but the guy that is declared to have killed Kennedy walks into a courthouse and pop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, obviously, conspiracy, but there's conspiracy fact. A lot of people don't realize that conspiracy fact, when you really take in court and you're like in accordance of everything, and you're like, no, that doesn't just add up. No, that
Right.
that doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. And
No.
and why was he killed? And what was the relationship? Because why? Because he didn't want to follow, because he was against secret societies, Kennedy.
Yeah.
And secret
Yes, he was.
societies were very strong back in the day, and people didn't realize that the number one largest society that was in power, people don't realize this, was the KKK.
Oh, yes. They're still in
People
Congress, my friend.
people
Yes,
didn't
they are.
you didn't realize that the KKK was
Yeah.
extremely powerful back in
They
the
were
day.
exposed a couple of years ago, the members that were in Congress and the White House and everything. It's
Oh
not a
yes,
lie. Whole
yes,
bunch of addresses, people
and
we know.
and a lot of people think, oh, it was about race. No, yeah, obviously you got people that are fanatics and crazy SOBs, but the fact is, it's because they were able to create a society where they can hide secrets. And then the same thing with other societies that people talk about, but people, this is another thing that what it hurts me a lot is people talk about these types of things, about these societies, and have absolutely no freaking cool clue what they're talking about.
No
They
clue.
have
I like that one.
no
They
idea.
have no clue. I like
They
that
have
one.
no clue. And the fact is, I said, hey, did you ever go to the Shriners? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I go, do you like the Shriners? Oh, yeah, they're very nice to do. I go, do you know that every single Shriner that you see is a Freemason?
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. For
What?
sure.
Excuse me? What did you say? No, 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 no. Did you realize that every Shriner that you see is a Master Mason? And it's like
They're all
they
part of
don't
an agenda.
comprehend. And I said, so now can we really talk about the real things? If you really want to talk about secret societies,
Exactly.
it's not the society where you're seeing a lodge with their symbol. Okay, it's not there.
That's
Where it
not it. No,
is where you
exactly.
don't see them, where you don't
Exactly.
feel them, and you don't hear them. And that is where when we talk about these societies that
Right.
that hold all these powerful people that want to control, to limit the information, because obviously they're well aware of everything.
It's where the
Because
elites choose their presidents. It's where the
exactly.
elites choose their presidents.
Eh,
A
eh,
Mason, right? Not a Freemason, but a Mason. That's, it's simple. The Masons with the club don't appreciate the Freemasons using the energy and what they're doing outside of the clubhouse. They want you to be part of a clubhouse, part of the
yeah.
blue club, part of the black club, part of the red club. And the levels go up so high. So when somebody says, like, you hear people say, the Zionist Jews are controlling the world. Yes, but it's not the Jewish people going to church.
No.
It's a higher up group, and the guy just so happens to be Jewish, and then people are going to put Jews in the same boat. No,
Yeah. No.
and we do that with blacks and whites and Asians and stuff. We're
No,
all the
I mean,
same, and we're
it's
all we're all
yeah,
controlled by our own governments.
yeah, and
But
what
that
could
one world order is something else. It's
it's
scary.
something, and it's something that scares me because of the fact that the implications of this NWO, what does it what is it really for? Now I obviously you got these theories that are coming out, and I'm getting bombarded daily, and I take everything with a pound of salt because a lot of things don't make sense, right? If
Right.
it's about exterminating the world, depopulating the population, is it this and this and that? But what is the reason? Could someone give me a good fact why?
Exactly.
I mean, people don't do things for a reason. I mean, for no reason. There has to be a
Exactly.
reason behind everything. Now, if you turn
Exactly.
around now, if you told me like, oh, well, we didn't go to the moon, and when, and I'm not, and then I could say, okay, so, and then you show me fact after fact after fact. You're like,
Yeah.
holy crap, you okay? I understand. Okay, now I
Exactly.
know the why they're hiding things,
And you have
why
to
they're
be
censoring
interested.
things.
You have to be into it. Like you said, if
Yeah.
you're not into it doing the research, you are not going to know about, what's going on the moon. That's 100% for sure. So
And if it is also on Earth too. I mean, there are a lot of things that if you look at old maps, there are islands and pieces of land masses that we don't see in normal maps today.
absolutely.
And when you look at Google Map at back in the day when it came out, I'm like, oh my god, I see Area 51. It's like all
It
stuff like
was
that. I'm
bad.
like, oh
Oh,
wow.
wasn't it funny though? You
Hey,
had
let me
the
look at
dead,
my ex's house. Oh wow. Oh my
yeah.
god.
Remember the dead people? Remember the dead people on the roads?
Yeah.
They started coming out after. You're like, go to Crescent, corner of Crescent and Mason. Look at
Yeah.
that. They got a guy in a dumpster with his foot sticking
Yeah, yeah,
out.
exactly. And then
There's some people that got caught naked and they blurred it. Google blurred it.
and then you would be able to zoom in right into the ocean, and you could see formations in the ocean. You could see there was one building in the like near the Great Britain. I saw that shit.
There is a city down. There's construction. That's
Oh yeah.
constructed. That's not a fault line.
No, no, it's not.
That here's an interesting subject: melting rock through nuclear processing.
Yeah.
Gaia just mentioned it. Just mentioned it. It's one of their theories, but there's many theories about them using rock. The first week, and I'm not lying, when I saw the moon, Jeff, I said to myself, those lines are melted rock. You can tell that they're melting the bloody surface to
Yeah.
make a hard shell over something or actually going through it. But
Yeah.
there's in my last video, I showed, actually, that was a members video. I showed what looks like lava tubes, but they actually call them glass tubes on the moon. Everyone's going to be hearing Gaia talk about that. They showed a live footage of the surface of Mars, which always gets me mad because why does Gaia and Linda Moulton Howe, why do they get dibs on certain parts of real footage? That really gets to me. Jeremy Corbell had leaked videos. It gets to me, man. It's like they went to see him, please, okay, we're gonna go this, you're gonna say that. and
Yeah.
then it's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird
Yeah. It's
that they
like,
go
somebody,
through.
hey, Bruce. Psst, hey, Bruce.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
somebody who's inside and he told me this. Don't tell anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, buddy. Because the
Yeah,
minute I say it, the minute someone finds out, they know exactly. And then 6 months later, hey, you still got your job? Yeah.
absolutely. So they can melt rock, make bases,
Yeah.
alien or not, with, you know what? It could be a freaking ancient process that they did hundreds of years ago that now today it's like something that's, well, wow, I never thought of that, because
Yeah.
it's ancient technology they keep. There's devastations, cataclysmic events every couple of hundreds of years. I believe
Yeah.
it's the elites continually like, oh shit, they're on to us. Boom, they're gone. Couple
Yeah.
left in labs. They got plenty left of bodies, DNA. All they have to do is keep 100 people alive there. Think of it. 100 males, 100 women. That's it.
That's it.
Make a new race, you know.
That's it. With a lot of
Choose them
loop
with
and
blue
hey,
eyes
everybody's
if you want.
happy.
Yeah, choose them with blue eyes.
That's
Ma-
right. No, you're right. You're right. And I think, like you're onto something there with all the stuff that's happening in the ocean. Look,
Yeah.
obviously we know that the ocean was much lower. Okay, it was very lower, and they found cities almost everywhere.
Yeah. Well, you see
Now,
when the water melted, right? When the water went down, look,
yeah,
China, Japan, all over the
China
place.
and off of Cuba, on
Yeah.
the western side of Cuba, there
Yeah.
is a city in the
A city.
ocean right there.
And not
Now,
deep. It wasn't
not
that
that,
deep.
no, exactly. And they're
It wasn't.
pyramids, man. They're
Yeah.
pyramids everywhere. Jesus, have you ever thought about it? Look, when you put your head around it, like really think about it. Okay. Let's be a sixth grader right now. Oh, let's see. In Egypt, there are pyramids. Oh, and look at that. Central America, pyramids. South America, pyramids. Southwest of the United States, pyramids.
Exactly.
Somewhere in Illinois, pyramids.
Yeah. The
Shit, there's pyramids everywhere.
Amazon rainforest,
Now, now,
pyramids.
what you're telling me now, when you really think about it, okay? If you really think about it, if you take two people and you separate them, okay, you go that way, you go that way. Now, let's say 3 generations later, okay? So now there are no similarities between these two people, okay? Well, these two factions of people. Their children's children have nothing. They don't know them. They don't know them. They don't speak the same language. They don't dress differently. They build houses differently. And all of a sudden, you're telling me that them build pyramids the exact same way?
I
It's
would say
because
that would be
somewhere
impossible.
Uncle Tom says, hey,
Yeah.
my uncle's going to come on over and he's going to show us how.
Yeah.
Or they were interconnected because the world was interconnected at one point, that we were all interconnected.
And the pyramids could be used for something extremely advanced, frequency wise,
Mhm.
spiritual wise, or maybe even an electrical power plant.
Yeah, hydroelectricity.
Yeah.
No, wait, hydrostatic electricity. There you
Yeah. Like they're melting rock
go.
around a coil to make an alternator. They melted a bloody rock around a coil that they
Yeah.
said that was used to store energy in it to be used for something. Like they weren't maybe not plugging their phones, but actually, who says? I know it's just a theory, but I would not be surprised, honestly, if the Sumerians didn't have the Dodge Omni, didn't have Dodge Omnis or cars. I would not be surprised if there was actual a vehicle or a patent that was done back then. I think they were more advanced than us, and maybe
Yeah.
that's what they hid. And when they redid the civilization here,
Yeah.
they knew the dangers of, maybe they found out, holy shit, they killed themselves with the technology, and they want to bring it to the moon, and to do some testing there, like the I don't know, the Tesla coil, or they want to test the CERN. There must be lots of CERNs, more than one on Earth, HARP, CERN, and stuff like that. I mean,
You,
they're
you,
playing with massive amounts of energy, bigger
well,
than explosions in the universe. They're opening black holes and dark matter. It's
oh,
crazy.
they were so advanced, but this is where a theory of mine comes in. I think at one point, post our civilization. So let's say a eon ago, whatever, our solar system was flourishing with life. We had people on Venus because they said Venus could hold life, because at one point, Venus had a beautiful, and it's hotter than Mercury. So therefore they have a greenhouse effect, is because either something natural or a biological weapon that happened there.
Natural side, ice age.
You never know. Yeah,
There's a
exactly. And
greenhouse
and
effect.
then Mars, and then you got other places. So the solar system was full of life. And what happens is, at every time that a society obtains its maximum potential, and this is where every empire, if we looked at every empire, the Ottoman, the Roman, the Mongolian, we're talking about every type of empire that has attained its maximum potential. It fracturizes and it self deteriorates. Now the problem is where does it go from there? Does it self deteriorate? Does it go to war? Does it, does it, whatever what happens? But yet we have noticed that there had been a time where there was life everywhere in the solar system, and that there's no more life there. Now, is it natural? Is it not? But if we look on Earth, for an example, there is one strata layer where the rock has been melted down as if there was a huge, either the huge energy explosion
Yeah,
on the planet. So I
everything
think there
melted.
was maybe
Yeah, something was
maybe a war.
vaporized. Yeah, exactly. And there was a vaporizing moment where,
Yeah.
yeah, and they can see it in the layers, right? They come out with the soil samples. They fill out these tubes, which must be one hell of an interesting job. Uh, if I was to start over, man, I always want. It's a bit funny. I always wanted to be a gemologist when
Okay.
I was young. The first thing, and like when I started doing this research, it's really interesting. I've always been interested in different minerals and stuff, but we're learning more and more about the minerals on the moon. Now it turns out that olivine is not even up on the moon. They said it's not even there because they sent a scanner to be
Yeah.
able to scan. They go, and this is what they said. It's already been done during the Apollo 11 moon landing, but we're going to redo it with new equipment to see if we missed anything. And an hour later, yeah, there's no olivine on the moon. It's like, wait a minute, what do you mean? They even said that that's why everything's green on the moon.
Yeah.
Olivine. Yeah, I think it's because there's forests and it's due for cutting grass. That's
I,
part of
I
what the aliens are doing.
I think
They're
the aliens are let's go for the alien narrative. I think they're terraforming they're terraforming Mars and the moon so they can occupy to relive, or maybe these people that are there are those of the remnants of the ancestors of the time I was talking to you about. And
right.
they obviously, like, for an example, if you ever watch Star Trek like I have, I'm a Trekkie, the prime directive is extremely important, and I understand why Gene Roddenberry wrote that down, the prime directive. And the prime directive says you cannot interact with a species that has not attained a certain potential of technological
Class type
potential.
one,
That,
class type two, they're not evolved. We're not even type one yet. We're,
well,
we're like,
dude, we'll kill ourselves. Like,
yeah,
I know for a fact that obviously there's one thing about humanity is that, yeah, when the shit hits the fan, we stick together. And if there's an alien race that's about to destroy everything, destroy us, to take over the planet, we'll press the button, man, and we'll destroy it and say, yeah, you ain't gonna
look what
have
we're
it,
doing.
buddy.
Yeah, and look what we're doing. Okay, real quick, you reminded me of this. We don't know who's on the moon, right?
Yeah.
Theories: breakaway civilization, Nazis. Let's go. A whole bunch of different theories. Now we're going to Mars, so let's go ahead 10-15 years. We send 1,000 people to Mars,
Yeah.
then Earth explodes. Then they recreate life on Earth. Okay, you following me? They
Oh yeah.
recreate life on Earth. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years go by, and somebody back with the telescopes about the same technology says, holy shit, there's somebody up on Mars.
Yeah.
But in reality, we could have gone and placed them there, like we
Yeah.
could have been the ones that placed them up on the moon.
Yeah.
Ancient Greece, they found a computer with gears.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was
In the
moving and everything.
Mediterranean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like, how the hell that old? They could find something like that. I mean, on the moon, people say, well, the structures must be inside of the moon. No, we're looking right at them.
Yeah.
It's that I'm not close enough, nor is any telescope really here, except for the big ones. I'm not close enough to go see a molding around the top of a building with decorative little stones coming down the building. That's ridiculous. I can't see a flag, but If
See
I'm
someone taking a
over,
shower, you know.
right, right, yeah, exactly, exactly. What the hell's this? Okay, pubic hair
Oh,
back
is
up.
that a third nipple? Oh, there you go.
I'm right. I'm right. That would be called a galactic peeping tom.
That's right. Well,
That's
Bruce sees
bad.
all, right?
That's
Bruce sees
bad.
all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But it's so friggin' interesting
Yeah.
because on the moon they could be looking at us. We could be looking at them. And if they look at Earth, what do they see? They see a gray ball, or they see blue, because I see
Yeah.
color on the moon.
That's right.
And in that blue, the people on Mars could have been told, yeah, we believe there could have been maybe life there before, but right now there's nothing. It's completely flooded. It's a ball of water on one side, and the
Mhm.
other side is snow. There's no vegetation. There's no animals.
That's
You
true.
can't see it. Like when you look at Earth, you see browns, you see blues, and you see white cloud like formations, but you don't really see forests and greenery all over the place. It's
No,
like a
you
blue
don't.
marble.
Exactly.
It's a blue
Exactly.
marble.
You're right. You're right. And who says that maybe they're looking back at us saying, is there life there? And maybe their government or they're probably censoring saying, oh no, we can't tell that because we don't know but I know that humanity is a lot more older than what we are. And I wish I wish one day you would have a bigger telescope and be able to see even better and see on the moon and or have the technology to be able to see better with the data that you all have already collected. That would
Absolutely.
be amazing, brother.
You
That
said it yourself, a filter. Filter, the guy could see with a filter. In
yeah,
reality, a filter is quite simply basic. It's
yeah,
a manipulation
yeah,
of the intensity of light that goes through a screen that you can see. So when I put down the exposure and I see the surface, in reality, even using the cloud sometimes it's like a filter. I think
yeah,
we even talked about this, like the sun. The first time I think I told you, the first time I filmed the sun, I didn't have a filter. I was filming the sun through the clouds. And
yeah.
for the first time with my P900 and no filter, I was able to see large sunspots
Wow.
fusioning on the sun. And when the clouds went away, never again. I had to go get a filter.
Yeah,
But what does the cloud do? It brings the intensity of the exposure down and you could
yeah,
see other objects. If not, it's overwhelming blindness. Not
yeah.
for nothing the moon's blinding like that.
It is. It is. It's very blinding, and it's also the fact that light bounces. Right. Sometimes you could have in a prism, you can actually separate colors. You can
Yeah,
actually make reds go that way and blues
yeah.
this way. So basically, maybe you're picking up certain, I don't know, frequencies or colors or whatever.
Exactly. By
And
chance.
by chance, yeah,
Like, oh, well, what's your explanation? I'm making it dark. But I mean, anyone with common sense, look outside in the fog. In the fog, when it's foggy outside, you
yeah,
can't see anything with the light refracting in the light. When I bring down the exposure, I even have a video of that. I did
yeah,
the test. Foggy day, don't see any cars. Watch this, bring the exposure down. Holy shit, ducks, cars parked there, and other cars walking and people walking because you adjust the exposure. So
yeah, yeah,
walking on the moon, a tiny person walking on the moon, tiny person. You're not gonna see him walking on the moon, cripes.
yeah, yeah.
He's got Nike shoes on. What the hell? You're not gonna see that.
So from what we're saying about all this like conspiracy talk and stuff like that, do you see in the near future that like we talk about truth? I mean, truth could be anything, but
Yeah.
do you seriously think that in our lifetime we're actually going to find out what's really going on up there? I mean, are we ever going to have tangible evidence that's going to say, yeah, you're right. Yeah, there is something up there, or that we are. Yes, we are. We're up there, or something is up there. And I think that's why they haven't told us, because maybe that something is something we don't know that's up there, and that's scaring us. Because imagine if the world noticed, or say, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a joke.
Right.
Life exists elsewhere in the universe, yes, and there is life that we can identify that's intelligent enough to travel through space and time and to colonize our moon. So right now, as we speak, there is a alien race or something that's on the moon right now, harvesting or whatever, or staying there. Imagine the human panic, all the panic that people are. I'm telling you, gun sales would go up the roof. I know some of you Americans out there are like, yeah, but yeah,
Damn
I'm
right.
serious. Me too. I'd probably be stocking up on on stuff like that, because we don't know. So the question is, maybe the reason why it's not to hide it from us is because maybe we're not mature enough. Maybe we're not ready, or maybe we're not able to comprehend the fact that we're not alone.
That's interesting. And I actually think that we are going to see it. I think it's a big possibility, but you know what? I believe that when we see that, it could be a leak that comes in from the outside. Sorry, a leak that comes from the inside, where now, for some reason, because of the war, maybe China is going to speak. I've been praying for this. It's stupid. It's mean, eh? I'm hoping China is going to be so pissed off at the States that they're going to turn around and tell us what's on the bloody moon. I don't believe that humans can get along in groups bigger than threes and sixes and 12s.
Okay.
50 bosses, it's never been good in any company. And that's what we have now. We have 75,000 spokespersons. You got 75,000 people in charge.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's no control.
Yeah, but Bruce, let's say an example. We're planning to go back on the moon. Let's say we found out, we got kicked off. But now you got China saying, well, we want to be, independent. We want to colonize the space, because obviously it's in their ideology and stuff.
And
like
we're
that.
back in a space race now. So
now the fact is, Bruce, do you want, like, first contact? Let's say an example right now. First contact's going to happen. Who do you want to have the representation of our race? Do you want communists? You want Chinese to represent us? Do you want Americans?
No.
But do you understand?
American citizens, yes, for my American friends, not Biden. That's what I mean, America.
God. Don't go there. Yeah.
Like,
No.
I don't
what
want
I'm saying is
elites.
because who do you want to represent the world if we ever do go there? And let's say that the Chinese go there and they piss them off.
Buddhist tribes, tribe. No, me, honestly,
because I love Americans. Don't get me wrong, man. I love you guys. Like, seriously.
They know.
Like, I'm a redneck here in Quebec. Okay,
right
I love American culture. We're like, whatever. But yeah, what I'm saying is the government that they have now, that have almost the same ideology as the communists in China. We want if we are to make first contact, if we haven't yet, if we are going to make first contact, I want to make sure that it's people that believe in freedom, believe in unity,
human
and
values.
we can show that to them, saying, hey, listen, we're much more than just borders, religion, and
100%,
whatever,
that's the big problem. Who's in charge, or who's the human that's in the Galactic Federation, if not all humans or whatever? And what are they talking about? Because like me, not the Chinese people, but the CCP corrupt government that the Chinese people themselves would love to see come down. If they reach aliens first, can you imagine the mentality? To laugh, imagine the mentality of the alien looking at the other alien saying,
what's he saying?
yeah. First of all, what's the language? What's the language? On top of them saying that they speak telepathically, is that the only way there's a communication? I think not. I think any primitive race can understand. If you go like that, right? If I go like that to you, I'm pretty sure you're not saying, I'm going to chop your head off, my friend. I'm going to kill you. So the first communication, like, I've been trying to imagine how it would be, and I can't. Is it going to be like that stupid movie where they go, ooh, 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 and the guy plays the piano?
Yeah.
It's
but that's more feasible, because music in a sense, we're talking about quavers and stuff like that, a mathematical equation on vibration. And there are mathematical equations. If we take, for an example, the vibration calculation of carbon, there's a calculation right there. So people, if you're gonna communicate, you're gonna communicate something very standard. Like, for an example, through science, like pi 3.14, blah
The
blah 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 blah.
stars, astronomy,
You know,
Orion,
exactly,
you
something
know,
that we can comprehend. Now,
the solar
maybe
system.
maybe
Yeah,
they have been trying to communicate with us and say, okay, at one point, let's see if they're gonna catch on. And yeah, from different perspectives, yeah, we have,
the
because
crop
people have
circles.
been talking about, hey, crop circles, alien interaction and stuff like that.
Ah,
But I
maybe inside the crop circles, all those circles of people that with those
yeah.
different size circles, maybe those are people protesting. Sorry, I had to say it. You know, like
Yeah, I don't know, but
stupid
even
smart.
crop circles, I have a hard time believing in that because of
I
the
do
fact
too.
that it's so
I'm
so easy
flexible.
to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but and there's some of them that are able to bend. Like some of them, they registered. There was one right here beside Ormstown, 10 crop circles or 12 crop circles, large ones, but
Wow.
the grass was bent in a way where
Uh,
every single blade of friggin' grass was bent at the stem with the curled up. So there's some things that are impossible to do, but a lot of people have gotten caught. Maybe not a lot. I know
yeah,
some farmers have gotten caught going out. Like you try to wonder, like how are they going to do that? They're going to go out with planks of wood, or I mean, it would be
yeah,
friggin' hard to do it, or maybe it wouldn't be. It'd be fun seeing someone try to create one themselves to see what it could look like. But
yeah.
it looks
Well,
pressed, eh? You see, and they're big, eh? They're right
yeah,
in the middle of a cornfield. Nobody saw them arrive there. Nobody saw any lights land or
yeah,
anything, and they got those friggin' signs. But if the crop circles aren't telling us about technology, or like you said, trying to reach us through science or a
yeah.
basic way, they could it be that those areas are areas where things are going to happen?
Oh,
It's
maybe.
always intrigues me. Oh shit! Like a UFO landed there. Well,
Yeah,
what's going to happen there in a year? Or we're going to see something like those monuments. Do you remember
yeah,
that?
yeah. The monuments.
Well, hey Jeff. Okay, there was one in Montreal. I don't know if you were au courant, but way back when there were all those monuments were appearing in the desert and everything, there was one in Montreal. Okay, did you hear about that one?
It
They did.
rings.
Yeah, they didn't even know what the material was made of, but they never said it again afterwards what it was or where it was from. They,
Huh,
they said it was an unknown material that doesn't come from Earth. Is that a joke? Like, I mean, I was surprised that news would say that, you
yeah.
know, because it blows my mind that
Huh,
the news, they say certain things that are so revealing. Why? Well, because they want to go get people to believe certain things, I think. They
yeah,
tell you, oh my God, it doesn't even come from Earth, that material. Maybe it's even worse than that. Maybe it's something that does come from Earth that's poisonous.
yeah. You're
You
right.
know,
You're right. You're
they
right.
can change things up. And a story, if it's a good story, it's believable. Lots of good theories are believable. People love about the moon, not because it's plausible, because they love the idea
Yeah,
of the
it's true.
story. Sometimes
It,
theories, and even me, it's anybody, it's hard not to fall in love with a certain idea.
yeah.
Like I'm open-minded, but there's still a few things that I'm stuck on. Like, well, I'm pretty sure that's a fact. I'm pretty sure that's not a fact, but it's still
Well,
just
I
speculation.
yeah, I think. Oh, but before we just, I saw Loli. Salut Loli. Je sais que tu comprends pas beaucoup anglais, mais on va juste te dire bonjour et merci beaucoup pour le soutien à Bruce.
Yeah, I didn't even see her. J'ai même
Yeah,
pas
she
vu
gave
son
you a little
email.
something there, so it's very nice, and it's very nice that I see people that are actually giving to you and encouraging you to continuing you doing what you're doing, because I know obviously what you're doing it's a lot of it's volunteering
Why
work,
am I
it's taking
the
time.
contributions? You see that,
Yeah, I
and
see it
I can't.
in the description. Yeah, comments. Yeah,
I have no contribution. I had one.
yeah.
I
She
didn't.
sent you $2 here. Well, it's right here. She says bonsoir tout le monde at
Let me
Jeff Benoit
scroll down.
Live et Bruce. She sent you like 220
Ah,
$2.
merci, Lali. Let me scroll down to see it. That pisses me off, though.
Well, it's because you're in the zone, man. You're
Yeah,
talking.
that could be. I really wasn't his own, but now I'm getting worried. I'm almost at the bottom here.
Oh,
Let
she
me look.
wrote. She goes, "J'apprends l'anglais." Well, it's good. It's good.
It's correct,
Hey,
so where's I'm
I just want to. Can I, if you allow me, Bruce? I just want to ask a question to those who are watching. Could you please let me know where you're from? Like, I'd like to know the countries of people where you're from. If you're from Canada, I think one says I'm from I don't
Hey,
know if you,
absolutely. You want to see that?
yeah, I
Watch
want
the
to know.
rounds.
Yeah, I want to know who's from where, because it's cool to
Absolutely.
know where people are from. Because I'll tell you one thing: you got people that are from different countries, man. They're very aware, open, and they know a lot of stuff. And
Absolutely.
it's funny how people where we're at in North America, how we're very limited. You know, I mean,
Right.
I've talked that. Look, there are people from Scandinavia, and they're talking about, yeah, trust me, we know what you're talking about, and this and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, wow, it's fascinating how much you know. It says
Absolutely. Well,
the
hey,
stats says I'm not telling. Okay, fine, all right.
Sugar bee. We have, I believe,
Hey, we got upstate New
California.
York. Hey, hello, American cousins. Well, actually, I consider you
Absolutely.
guys as brothers, because I'll tell you one thing. Even though there is a border between you and us, we are the same people, man. We are cut from the same cloth. Okay, I'm telling you, shit hits the fan. Trust me, Canadians will be rushing down. We're nice, but Jesus, you realize in wartime we kick ass.
Hey,
So
they think Canadians, they think Canadians say A all the time, eh?
yeah,
But
eh?
there's one Jeff I'm not I don't agree with, and it makes me laugh.
Was
Is
that?
when they say when in America, which is funny. We're talking about stereotypes, which I'm a comedian. I love it. We tend to sombrero. Talk about a Mexican sombrero, and then a Mexican
Yeah.
tells you I never wear a stinking sombrero. It's like the stereotypes of what people think, the way they judge people. Why was I talking about that though? Now I can't forget it because now it sort of sounds racist.
Oh. Well, there was a guy walking around, right? He was walking around
Damn
with a
it!
sombrero, with a big mustache. You know
Yeah, that sounded pretty
how
racist.
these Mexicans have these beautiful mustaches, right? And he's walking around and he goes to these people like in these
Oh,
campuses, and they're like, "Did you find this offensive?" Oh my god, it's so inappropriate. Then he actually goes
exactly,
into
exact,
these Spanish community, and like, how do you think? Goes,
exactly.
oh fuck, you look good. You look good. I like the way. So
Yeah,
so when
exactly.
it really thinks
But
about it,
Canadians, now I remember Canadians when they go a boot.
a boot,
What a boot? And I always tell them,
about
what about my boots on my feet?
about yeah.
It's like a boot because in Canada there's a
Yeah.
lot of accents.
Yes.
You have Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland. When you listen to them talking, they got a real. It's amazing. It's a beautiful,
bye.
almost Irish, sort of language. But
Yeah.
people go, "Hey, listen in Canada." They talk about what a boot. No,
It's mostly out the west. Out west, they're more like that. If you go
yeah,
to like Minnesota and stuff like that, where you have a lot of German people that were you can actually see that a lot in the Western Canada. But if you go like for an example, go to Boston. I go to my pack. I'm gonna, it's like I go to pack.
yes,
And we want to cat, so you can see
uh,
the different accents. Or like one
absolutely,
guy's from Texas. How you doing, y'all?
yeah,
Oh, but
absolutely.
the best was Arkansas. I talked to a girl from Arkansas back in the day, and like I was just talking, like back then it was GeoCities, the big thing. Like, oh my god!
Very
So
southern
I
accent.
call her up, and she goes, "How you doing?" I said, "So what you doing today?" I'm going to the store to drink some
I love
Mountain
it. Yeah,
Dew.
yeah.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, wow, having a conversation like that would be high anxiety. Okay, get to the point. Get to the point. Get to the point. But
Yeah.
us in Quebec, imagine, okay, in Anglophones that are in the province of Quebec have our own accent. Like we adopted a lot of Franco expressions.
Yeah, yeah,
So people are like, you have an accent. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't have no accent. What are you talking about? But yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Hey,
You want a deep pizza? I'll give you a Chicago pizza, okay?
it's like Joe Pesky, eh? Joe
That's
Pesky's
right.
got that voice
That's
when
right.
he's talking. I love accents.
Me too.
Love them. My
Yeah.
mother, she watched the stream, said, Jeff Benoit seems like a nice boy. No, I'm kidding. I'm just making her shy. She said,
Nope.
love the streams. They're all good, funny and everything. But we were talking about the accent. She goes, oh, when you guys started imitating the Chinese voices and stuff, I was so worried. My mom, it's like laughing at, some young guy. We're having fun at the last.
Psycho. I just want to go. Do you go to the store? I will buy you $2. I love accents. Like, come on,
Yeah, me
telling
too.
people that people don't have that from there. Like
Alex Jones. Do you know Alex Jones a bit?
Oh fuck yeah, of course.
Okay, well,
Of course. I mean, I have his book. Actually, we'll talk about. I bought his
The
book
Great
on.
Reset.
I
Go
have
ahead.
it.
Yeah.
I have it. What an
Yeah, good for you.
amazing read.
Good for
I
you,
have it.
man.
I have it. Hold on. I think I got it somewhere. I tell you, I love that book.
He
It's
went number one. He outsold the biggest sellers that New York Times, because New
Yeah.
York Times actually lied about the sales of his bloody book,
yeah.
and they put someone else as number one as compared to his, because of course he's divulging the Great Reset.
Yeah.
Rose Cullen, Alexis Williams, Scratch, all the same good people. I get some good people, man, that come in here. Suzanne, I
But
never
that
knew
book.
about Croc. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
Oh, go
ahead.
ahead. No, you're talking to your patrons. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. I never knew about crop circles until I got Led Zeppelin's box set. You know, a lot of the musicians know a lot about UFOs, and look at, oh my God, dude, did you hear about Pink Floyd? What they did, what the trans people were doing, because they were upset because they said that they were mocking the trans with the rainbow,
Oh,
the
where
rainbow, the rainbow,
with the where the light hits the triangular prism, and then
right?
there's like this rainbow.
Right? They said it's mocking, and mock. I said, guys, they made this before a trans person even existed or ever admitted to be a trans person.
Why
This is
did they get
ridiculous.
the rainbow? I want the rainbow. Why does the rainbow have to be theirs? Why can't the rainbow just represent everybody?
I
Like
know
rainbow is supposed to be
exactly.
happy. So listen, I never realized how people can be so polarized over stupid image, like
It
stupid stuff
is.
like that.
It is. I don't even eat Skittles anymore, bruh. I'm off of the Skittles. Fuck the rainbow. I ain't into the rainbow anymore.
What the-
My last rainbow in the sky picture. I have not had rainbow in my sky for 3 years.
Wow.
Coincidence or not, I don't know, but it's
Lucy
funny.
in the sky with
Yeah,
diamonds.
exactly.
Oh my god, I don't know where that came from. But no, but seriously, yeah, it's the polarization.
You know what?
And
You know what's at the end of every rainbow? Not a pot of gold. Some trans protesting.
oh, okay.
No.
No, it's not a leprechaun that's supposed to be
I
all
just-
pissed off and everything. No.
I'll cut that out. I'll cut that out.
Hey, there
cut
must be
that out
somebody going, I gotta have my ears ringing. Must be Bruce. Must be
for
Bruce.
sure. Must
We
be
gotta
talking about
censor him.
trans, and
Somebody on
because I have
YouTube's like,
nothing against them. It's the campaign is sad though. You know what they're doing,
ah,
pushing that on everybody. I spoke to some trans people in the community, my friend, because I have some that come here, real transsexual people, and they
for
said
sure.
it's very embarrassing the way they're portraying the trans people, because we're not like that. When you see them aggressive at protests and going bang, boom, boom, I like answering, be more like a lady. Hey, really,
Do it like a
honestly.
lady.
Yeah.
Well, no, seriously. Look, okay, look. There's nothing wrong if somebody discovers themselves.
Right.
I've always said the fact that I find it takes courage for someone to discover themselves. Like Shakespeare said, to thy own self be true. So
Exactly.
when you found yourself and you say, okay, now obviously we live in a society where polarization happens everywhere. Now, if you really want people to understand you and to respect you, you can't take an iron fist and beat the shit out of somebody and say,
No.
believe me. No, it takes time. But the fact is
Yeah.
that when you see a narrative behind things, when you see that there's an alternative behind it, when you say that it's not even about the cause, but it's something
No.
behind it, right? So
Yeah.
when you look at, like, for an example, all the protesters and stuff like that, as a fact that they're there for a reason. They're not there for the real cause, because if there was a real cause, and I'm talking on both sides here, there's polarization on both sides. So
Everything in every field.
so if people could just learn to live and let live, but at the same time find and choose your place. There's
Yeah.
a place for everything. Like
Exactly.
would you go to a high-end restaurant wearing a thong? Just a thong? Well, of course not. You're not going to do that because
No,
it's not
I
the
wouldn't.
place and area to do that, right?
Exactly.
So
Or that
there
would
is
be like you and I starting a straight parade
well,
where we
that's right.
go, whether you're straight or not. I'm just shooting it out there because I'm so careful now with gender and everything. But it's a shit
Yeah,
show.
it's yeah. Anyways, but the fact before YouTube presses the button, because I know you got some
Yeah,
leftists like
that's
they
what my
say one more
politics.
word, I'm gonna pack. Oh boy, Bruce, you're going to get it.
Exactly.
But the thing
Exactly.
is that I think that people need to just calm down
Yeah.
dude, and just maybe smoke one or take a drink and
Absolutely.
relax, just take it
Absolutely.
easy, man.
Yeah.
Because if humanity is going to survive the next 10 years, we're gonna have to learn how to live with each other and find a common ground somewhere. But it's not by
Exactly.
polarization, it's not by censorship, it's not by passing laws, it's not by restricting one person's freedoms and rights and liberties to give to others. We don't live in that
We're
society.
unevolving. They're pulling
Yeah,
us back to when certain races were forcing other races to sit in back of buses and stuff. They're bringing us back to the war times. They're making us fight together.
that's
They're
right.
adding the talk about reparations to black people and stuff. Man, that really affected me because I live to let people know that I'm not against black people and that I am against slavery and that the privilege bullshit is not cool. It's not cool. A lot of white
But
people are
this is
poor.
where, but Bruce, this is what kills me. Why do you have to bend backwards and leap over oceans
Right.
to prove to people that you're not racist? Look, I was brought
Exactly.
up to see people not color. Okay, my best friend is
Yeah.
as black as the core right there, and he's a Muslim, and he's my
Exactly.
best friend. So I grew up in a multi-ethnic place, so for me,
Right.
obviously, I don't see that, but but because of the fact that the polarization, the only way that they can get people to submit is that automatically they'll throw you the narrative as, oh, you're this, but then as you're fighting them to say that you're not them, it's just part of the whole polarization. And I think it's not people who choose to be polarized, is because they're making people polarized. So when we are finding ourselves at a division, because I'll tell you one thing, are we, is as a society more racist than it was 50 years ago? I don't think so.
I
I
don't
think
think
we've
so either.
progressed very much.
Absolutely.
I think as a society,
That's why
look,
they
if
brought
you're
it back
telling
up.
me that the United States is more racist than it is today than it last, why is it that there was a black president? Right? Why
Exactly.
was there a black
Exactly.
president? Why is that that there are more women now in politics and stuff
But
like
you
that?
see,
So
they
you
went
can't
about it the
say,
wrong way, eh? They went about it the wrong way.
wow,
Male,
wow,
male, 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 male. A woman vice president that has no competency for anything Congress or presidential. They got Biden, who can locate an ice cream truck, doesn't do much else. And it's sad because American people are very proud and very patriotic. So are
yeah,
we. You know it. Canadian,
yeah,
me,
oh
I'm a
yeah,
patriotic
oh,
Canadian.
so am I, so am I.
But Americans, they show it. The American flag at one point was something so beautiful. Never in my life when I was young did I ever disrespect any flag of a country by burning it.
No, of course not.
And now at protests, it's a new thing. In
Yeah,
front of the Americans, look, y'all, burn the little flag and step and spit on it. It's insulting. And Americans can't retaliate because you have
well,
to be a peaceful protester, which they're already almost being round up by Democrats who are calling them domestic terrorists. And and it's something that they inflicted on the red states that they can't even talk about because the
yeah,
guidelines,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's their goal is whatever they say that's going to destroy us, we'll put up a guideline. So YouTube is working with them.
yeah.
I understand that they were forced. I'm positive that YouTube was forced. Listen, YouTube, they want to make money. Okay. And by blocking me off and taking me down and a whole bunch of people down, it's not going to give them more money. I guarantee you, YouTube went from, I'll give a fictitious number. They went from 5 billion a year to probably 900 million a year. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, no,
ridiculous.
it
They're
is. It
putting
is.
everybody off.
And Red Eye Hermit says, "What the F thought is this about UFOs?" Now, it has everything to do with UFOs, because have you just noticed that we've talked about we are in the 21st century?
Oh, you saw a troll. Yeah, answer him.
And but it is true what he
Okay.
wrote. It is.
Yes,
What
yes.
has it to do with it? And I'm going to tell you, it is really everything about it. Because the question before we talked about all this, caca there,
Yeah.
why haven't they come yet? Well, that's exactly the reason why. Because we continue to be polarized. We are continued being played. Now, is it orchestrated? Is it the reason why we're like this? So it prevents us to start focusing on each other instead of what's happening really? Because right now we have noticed that there are events that are happening. There's things that are happening. Bruce, I want to know something. Around 8:30 last night, did you lose some power? Did your lights start to flicker?
Yes.
Okay,
So did my mother's.
watch
So did
this.
my mother's.
I was doing a live. Okay? And the person who I was interviewing was in the eastern townships of Quebec.
No.
Her lights
You're not.
flickered.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
No.
I'm serious. And my lights too. So I said to everybody in the chat, and I had about 200 people watching me. And I said, can you please tell me if that happened to you? Everybody in the region of Quebec, everywhere,
That's
north,
not good,
south,
man.
east, west, all at the same time, their lights flickered.
There's some transformers that were really damaged. There's still some without power.
Yeah,
What
but
if
still,
it was
Bruce,
an EMP
Bruce.
attack? An EMP attack, man. That's bullshit. That was not natural.
No, but
Okay?
that's it. But the whole province,
Yeah, it's not
boom,
natural.
at the same time.
A week after, and by the way, it was only freezing rain we had. We never had any snowstorm here.
Yeah.
There was not a snowstorm. It was only a bunch of trees that fell down on some wires. Imagine that. Imagine that. So is it the beginning of the, you must have heard of the rolling blackouts and all that.
Yeah.
You know, it could have a lot to do with the rolling blackouts too.
Solar
Jeff, you're good for
flares.
another 10, 15 minutes?
Dude, I'm ready as long as you are. If the people love us and you want to go as long as you can, I don't mind.
Absolutely, man.
I
You'll be
love
back
this.
on. You'll be back on. I'm telling you. I'm sorry, but you're going to be back on.
Okay,
you know-
okay, Bruce. Okay.
You know, yeah. Now we're going to do like we did in the last stream. We got the hand coming in the other window.
Wait, hold on.
Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic 003. I gave you a nice shout out on his channel because I started off with an interview with him today. Had an hour interview with Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic 003. He's opening up another platform that's going to be a little I'm going to be going there often as a guest talking about the UFOs because he's starting from scratch. He's going to talk about the moon and me, my research. I got a lot of research, so he's going to be presenting the research a bit on that to attract more people. Wisconsin here, Oregon, upstate New York, USA. Stats says he's not telling you, but I know where he is. He's in a gator barricade somewhere. He's around this motherfucker rounds up gators.
Born on the bayou. I know where you are. You're on the Mississippi River, or you're somewhere.
Oh my gosh! It's actually sorry. That's Julie.
Sorry,
Julie. Her husband's the badass. Round up alligators. She cooks them.
No, I saw this on TV. I saw these people going after alligators. Like, you crazy son? And they're like drinking a beer with a shotgun. Hold on, Johnny. Hey, Bobby, come here for a second. Hold my beer. Dang.
She's got turtles. She's got all the. Why are accents so fun? Why are accents so fun? Me, it's never an insult for me. A lot of accents around in Canada too. The States.
I love
Scotland.
my American brothers.
Hey, St. Louis, USA in the house.
Wow.
I hope you're, St. Louis. Okay, no, St. Louis and not Louisville. I'm looking, the train derailments, the barges with methanol falling off at dams, explosions. Man, 18,000 to 20,000 cows blew up yesterday in Texas. A facility, a meat processing facility blew up.
Why are these food plants? Like you got one there. There was a chicken farm somewhere. I don't know where.
I don't know, but yes, I heard of that one.
100,000 chickens dead.
The pigs, not long before that, the pigs. Yeah. So, and what about the, you'd know that one, Nestle, even if you don't know where it is, you probably heard of it.
Yeah. In Pennsylvania.
There you go. Yeah. Nestle food plant. Been there since I think the beginning of time. I think I was born. It was probably not long after that.
It's Hershey's in Pennsylvania. I don't know. Anyways, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Now you're making me want to eat chocolate. So they're burning down food plants, and then all of a sudden, I get this: within hours that they burned down the plant, I've heard the first word. What the hell's wrong? I heard the first word of Bill Gates saying, "Well, I bought out all the farmland in the state. He bought every leftover piece of farmland, and he now is the owner of the most farmland in America." Talking about his, GMO salad, I call it. I'll leave it at that, but there's lots of stuff that he wants to insert in that,
ladies and gentlemen, you got to think about outside the box. Get yourself some gardens in back of your house, get some chickens and feed them good. I'm telling you, you got to do that. You got to do it.
The Netherlands, upstate New York again, Joliet. So Je t'aime fort, là, ça, du monde du Québec, ça n'en prend. Because, man, it took me years to have people from Canada here. I do not
Ah,
have a lot of people from Canada here. Canada
ah.
is the country of the least people that are here. Out of the UK, I have more UK and Australia here.
Oh,
Americans, it's like 86% American here, basically. But they really helped me open up the channel. Of course, YouTube's in the States, right?
yeah.
I always wonder, what do you think about that, Jeff?
What's
Being
that?
in Canada, the stupid ass bill C11 that's
Uh,
stopping us from searching, from Canadians for searching for channels. It's going to be a dystopia, just like in China, where we're going to, you know what they're going to do? They're going to give us, I hope they don't give us 4 haircuts. Like it's,
yeah,
North Korea.
the first one is the bowl cut. Well,
It's
look,
get
our supreme leader there, it's pretty bad in Canada. Look, I'm going to tell you one thing. The thing I love about the American Constitution and the independence and stuff is that you have a beautiful document that allows you, that's above every government, right? Every above the only
that they're
thing
destroying right now.
yeah, well, they are, but the thing is that the freedom of information is extremely essential, and because of the fact that they've learned here in Canada that there was the sub movement during the pandemic, right? Oh, I said the p word, where free citizens who had enough of the bullshit
Yeah.
of the draconian measures and listen, I don't care where you were, what spectrum you were, if you were for it or not. The fact is that civil liberties are extremely important. The fundamentals of choice is the core essence of every human being. And you see this is what people in Quebec didn't understand, because in English there are two words. You have freedom and you have liberty, right? Liberty is bestowed by God. So as soon as you are born, you are free. You mean you have liberty.
You're
But
born
the
a
thing
free
is that
individual.
then you have certain freedoms.
Right.
And people don't, but Quebecois didn't realize, the
You
French
said
and
it.
the
You said it well too. By the way, free dumbs.
dumbs, exactly. And
Yes.
and the fact is that now we're seeing that the federal government of Canada wants to limit the information let's say, be able to, because it's just not only like when it comes to commercials or information on search engines, but it's also your YouTube or your Facebook
Serious.
account.
Like
If you
those of
have a
you listening
Canadian
in,
account, poof, they can censor you like that.
yeah,
And
those
it's
listening, go
those
look the
narratives.
C11 bill. Sorry, go look at the C11 bill. Continue, man.
That's right. And
For
no, that
others, in,
C11, it limits, it gives the CRTC, that's our like regulatory body of broadcasting and stuff like that. So
right,
once you become a blogger, like for an example, if you're in the United States and you have your account that's an American and you're in that state, you have basically more of a chance to speak your mind than I do in Quebec and Canada, because of the fact that we're on Canadian territory and that they can censor us. Now, the thing is that for them, they think that because people they don't like what's happening, because our government is completely draconian, and
yeah,
I'm telling you, we are almost getting to become a communist country, and it's very
it's
sad
bad,
because
eh?
I'm just looking, but I'll tell you one thing. We had an occupation in Ottawa, which was a protest, a sit down protest, a peaceful protest. I was there 4 times.
Legal,
I legally, and we were allowed to. And I'll tell you one thing that scared them, because when you have people that start to rise up on every level, regardless of your religion, belief, creed, or whatever, when you have people that are standing up and saying enough is enough, for them that means they don't have any more power, and that if
right?
you're looking bad, so that's why they came up with these laws, so that they can prevent you from actually giving that hope to people and encouraging people to
Yeah, and
stand up.
they did it in a pretty violent way. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad what they did. There were
And it's sad.
United Nations planes. I don't know if you had seen that, but I remember, whether it be in Winnipeg or Regina, and I think even in Ottawa. I could be mistaken about the Ottawa
Yeah.
part, but there was UN planes, 2 UN planes, white planes, that landed. Ottawa police. Do you remember the entire freaking police service,
Yeah.
including the chief, quit? Those are things that
Yeah.
people are going to forget. And
Yeah, well,
you know,
he knew.
20
He
years
knew.
down the road, yeah,
That chief
absolutely.
knew. He said, "Listen, when I'm going to be facing the man, right? When I'm going to face, because obviously there's a point where he had a choice to make: either go what the government says or what he was sworn in for. He was sworn
Right,
in to ensure that everybody had their rights respected and maintained. Now,
right.
obviously, he saw that, so he says, "What I'm going to go down with as the chief that invoked these draconian measures, or I'm going to step
Exactly.
down and keep my integrity." And honor
So
and
these
let some
people
of the
are
fools
risking
take it.
5, 10 years. They're
Yeah,
losing like maybe the
yeah,
chief had to work another 3 years and he'd be retired with full pay. Nope.
yeah.
If he quits, he's not going to get it. You know, in Canada, you quit, you're not going to get your pension. Well,
Yeah, but
not the pension, but extra pay or whatever.
Bruce, I know this has nothing to do with aliens, but I have to tell you one thing.
Yeah,
You
sure.
are looking at the segregation, okay, of 1940, what they were doing with the Jews, okay?
Same thing.
I
Same thing.
remember I was not even allowed to go to a Walmart, to a Costco. I
Right.
wasn't even allowed to go to a restaurant. I couldn't even go to a gym. I wasn't allowed to go to certain areas in the hospital. I couldn't even see my dying grandmother that
Yeah.
died,
Yeah.
okay,
That
because I
sucks so
didn't, I
bad.
didn't, I didn't submit and I didn't have that Nazi pass, okay? And I
Right.
don't give a
Exactly.
frick if you don't like what I'm saying or not. But
Exactly.
I'll tell
I
you
agree with
one
you.
thing: millions of Canadians said, "Whoa, wait a minute." And then those are people who were and weren't. We're saying, "Well, wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa." I thought we were based on fundamentals of principle of choice. And that the fact is that, okay, what we're facing, I understand. But if you're going to start alienating a population and then not allowing them to have the same civil liberties, and we're talking about the Charter of Rights and Freedoms that we have, that's like the Constitution,
Right.
but
The
it's not
sad
even
freedom of.
compared. It's not even compared to
I
the
like the way
Constitution.
they slap the friggin' word freedom in that.
Exactly. And
Freedom,
then when we're
freedom,
looking at,
freedom.
so
Safe
the thing
laws.
is that I can't believe that it actually people were going by and saying, yeah, it's okay. And then when we were looking at in Australia and we were looking at the camps that they had over there and they were sending people there, and all of a sudden we were seeing how they were reacting over there because we saw things happening in Australia too as well. So when Canada started to rise and truckers at all places, truckers stood up, went into a truck, went to Ottawa and to show the world that, hey, listen, you can actually stand up to a giant. And we did. And guess what happened? They backed down and the whole world was listening. And
Yeah.
that's why in Canada a lot of measures ceased because of the fact that they realized that we were heading way into something they didn't want to. And I'll tell you one thing, my ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of brave people out there in the States, everywhere in the world, who said that enough is enough. And that is the fundamental. And I'll tell you, if you want to be a trans, if you want to be a gay, you want to be whatever you want to be, the same core fundamental of choice must be maintained.
Exactly. We can love the trans people, and we love the trans people that speak up for themselves and that don't join those silly campaigns that are actually absolutely making them look bad, right? That
Yeah.
they know it. Trans people know what's going on. Oh my God, why are they doing that? Why are they putting them in schools? I bet you trans families are saying, oh my God, I wouldn't walk around. I'm straight. Okay. Um, am I going to get you to go with, I don't know if you're married or whatever, go with your wife and I'll go with my wife that's there married. And then we're going to go in a parade and saying, hey, we're straight. Bend over, baby. I'm sorry. I'm literally doing what the trans are doing there in the parades there. Going to
Yeah.
walk around naked and stuff like that in front of the kids. Hey,
But
I'm
that's the
so
polarization I talked to you about. And that's what they
absolutely
want. They want that polarization. So while we're over here doing this, they're doing this. Okay. And it's all about that. Look in Ontario, the province of Ontario. They now passed a legislation that you can't even protest
right.
against anything of that narrative.
Got you, His Highness. Yeah, no, I
So
listen.
there you go.
I'm absolutely agree with you on that. His Highness, I will check that out, brother. Thank you very much.
Oh, I saw one comment. I love it. It says, if you can't reproduce, you must assimilate.
Yeah, exactly.
I love your viewers. I love it. You guys are awesome. No, seriously,
Yeah.
you got awesome people. I've been listening to all your reading your comments here, and this is awesome. Bruce, you have a great a great channel here. A lot of people who are I think they're in tuned, and obviously I know there's some people saying, "Oh, what does this have to do with aliens?" Well, it has to do a
No,
lot of
that's
things.
that's the same.
It has
I
to do a
have
lot.
those are other followers that follow me to harass. I always get the same question. Or if I come on and I don't have a title and I dare write Bruce sees all live stream. Bro, I speak 2 hours with everybody and I answer the 1,700 comments and I read the news every friggin' Friday of all the news. And someone will come on and say, huh, when are you going to start talking about something interesting? I, I'll say something like, when you leave, you know, but I have fun with the trolls as much as with the other people. But in general, it's 99.9% not trolls here. And we have a lot of fun in the streams here. Just absolutely amazing what goes on.
But we're talking about paranormal, right? And what we just discussed, I mean, obviously we're sounding a little more like we're talking about politicalized stuff and everything, but you know, when you really think about what we're facing in these times, there are such indicators that let's say, for an example, if you're looking more at the evangelical point of view, like the end of times, or if you're looking at more like a religious point of way of that there's a transition or something going to happen, well, I'm starting to feel that somewhere in the paradigm of our reality that there is a pinnacle of something that's going to happen. Now, whether if we're going to go up or down, left or right, we don't know. The thing is that we're starting to see one around us, our environment's changing. We're starting to see the things that are around us, like for an example, the sightings. If we look at sightings, that there's more activity, more curiosity of what's happening. Now, if we're looking at a conscious point of view, I'm starting to feel like that there is something going to happen. Like there is something happening. There's this change globally that's happening around us. But the thing is,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just to finish off my little repartee here, is that I'm finding that this change in paradigm is creating a form of polarization. I'm wondering if it's not a subproduct of it, but I know that we are evolving into something. There's something that's going to happen that is going to affect humanity. And I think this is where the spiritual point of view, like the good versus evil, about the fact of us versus them, is happening. And I think it's happening. I think we're there, and a lot of good people are standing up.
They're expecting retaliation. The elites are expecting a retaliation. They know that a civil war will be imminent. It's already imminent, and guaranteed that people over generations have always stood up, no matter how many family members are killed or die. When it comes down to the last resort, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to not care about the house, not care about material. When it comes to our lives and you know, livelihoods and stuff like that, it's a friggin' serious situation. And that's when I saw France and in Spain, I think it was, when they had Canadian flags, when the Americans started, I was friggin' bawling at one point. They had our flags up in the States on the trucks, singing friggin' "Oh Canada," man, in New York. It was beautiful. The Americans tried to cross over and they blocked them at the border. And I remember screaming across at each other with horns and shooting flags up in the air over the border. They were talking. The government doesn't want that, because the government wants to separate us, wants to say, well, there's a lot of racism going on with the trans today. So that means anyone like you or me that comes on and makes a little joke or anything, because apparently trans people are the only civilization that does not appreciate jokes about them. What culture has not been made fun of? I'm talking about a comedian perspective. I'm not talking about dirtiness and disgusting, morbid shit. You know, we're all the same. We're all the same. We got different shapes of exactly.
All you need is love.
All that is all you really need. That's not. Well, that wasn't the word.
I don't know.
I added I added a that, so it didn't work out. I can still hold a beat though.
But seriously, it is up to that point, and it's orchestrated from a higher force that is actually a specialist in human behavior. We're starting to see
a higher force.
Whoa,
that's not even the words, but I can pretend that that's the song, and that's what they say.
But you know, the force is strong with this guest, of course.
Hey, man, the force is the name of my community. When I started,
Yeah.
All my videos, it was the Force. The Force helped me get the telescope and everything. And honestly, man, it's a small knit, what maybe someone would call a niche family online. I'm
Okay.
okay with that because the therapeutic comments that they give me, man,
Yeah.
honestly, it's I don't feel worthy of it. They're always commenting and complimenting. Everybody appreciates, a true seeker. What are you thinking of? I saw his face. I
I
thought he
just
couldn't say.
I just thinking of like because you're talking about your telescope and everything, and I'm like it's like if people only knew, how much you invested
Oh my
in
god.
what you do, you
Yeah,
know,
just the
uh,
time and everything, man.
just the time
Honestly,
and like, dude, like it's just
I
it's
neglected myself. You'll
imperative.
you'll never hear me on top of it complain. I've been out all night. I have. I swear to you, I spend my nights going out. And
Yeah.
when there was no sky for like the last 5 months, well, I go and dig in my research and I bring it back up. 'Cause my research is not like Apollo 11's research that was 60, 50, 60 years old. It's research that I started the channel here in 216 at the end of 216. So we're in 2023 now. So all the findings here were all in that period of time,
I have a question for you. Now,
Shoot.
you pointed that bad boy to the moon, but have you pointed it towards, let's say, I don't know, Mars?
Yeah.
And were you able to capture anything? Oh, what does that mean?
That's how big Mars is
Yeah,
with my
okay.
14 with my 14-inch scope.
Okay.
So there's a possibility. You see some videos online that somebody will get Jupiter and he only has a 6-inch telescope and it's nice and close.
Yeah.
That I'll be getting it. It's an extra little feature. It's a feature
Okay.
you have to use on the camera to be able to get it nice. Me, my telescope, I showed Jupiter and all the moons, Ganymede, and everything. I
Oh,
showed
great.
them all in a nice way, but it looks like a ghost. Very impressive. It looks like when you talk to Siri, you open Siri on your computer and you see hello, and you see that light
Oh,
going
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
That's what the stars look like. I have an incredible capture of Saturn on this channel,
Yeah.
Saturn and its rings. Very nice view of Saturn, big enough, like a nice big chunk, but
Yeah.
using various equipment and stuff like that. But for me, I am stuck on the moon because I understood that the surface structures, the reason why I'm seeing it, I told everyone, and nobody wants to listen to me because they're mad because I don't have an education or degree. Apparently, I'm a self taught astronomer, like
Oh,
Leonardo da
okay.
Vinci was. Leonardo da Vinci declared himself as being a self taught astronomer. He was trans, by the way. He was gay. You know that? I just found out. I thought it was just wanted to add
Mi-
that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he
The interesting pictures of him, Mona Lisa in a dress and stuff. A lot of people were saying that some of it was a reflection of him as a woman and stuff. This is just coming out, but then again, everything trans is just coming out, so they put that in your head. You know, it's just crazy what they do. But no, it turns out that Leonardo da Vinci was gay. Imagine how hard that would have been for the guy back in the day. He probably remained single all of his life because there's gay people since the beginning of time, but nobody's
yeah.
going to say it.
I
And
know.
before two gay people can actually meet up and find out that they are gay, they'd
Yeah.
never be able to talk about it back then because it's something that was just
Oh yeah, my God,
unheard of.
you would be
Unheard
put to
of.
death if you found. So this is where you see, this is where people don't realize. We've come to a point in our society where we're very progressive. That
Yeah,
now. So why the polarization?
exactly.
But
People, it's no two ways about it. People are born gay, and that's it. So we can look at many things. Oh, it's too bad in the Bible they say that gay people aren't accepted and stuff like that. Listen, guys, to all gay people and to anyone that's worried about that, the Bible is a story that some people follow by the book until they get caught having not followed the 10 commandments. A favorite expression that I say: children are evil, mean, and conniving.
yeah,
Adults pretend not to be.
yeah,
We're just like children.
yeah,
We fight like
listen,
children. We're more childish. As a matter of fact, children are not as vindictive as someone who's evolved, because when somebody evolves, it can evolve his better self or her better self, or he can evolve his bad self or her bad self into negative energy, like the elites are doing. They're doing all this through Satanism.
That's something that, when you think about it, when you hear about all these like satanic stuff and Pizzagate and all types of stuff,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. But then all of a sudden, Bruce Weinstein and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Weinstein,
like what
Epstein, also the island.
Epstein. Now, why I said Weinstein? Sorry, Epstein.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, hold on.
Oh, did I touch on something there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Weinstein was actually number one. Is it Harry or what? Get this. I'm going to mention just something vaguely. You're going to say Benoit. Weinstein was the person that got caught. I hope I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I'm not. Got caught manipulating Hollywood actors and actresses to do certain sexual favors for him. He's in jail.
Oh, yes.
That was
the rector
Weinstein,
guy.
right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Weinstein? Yeah.
Yeah, Weinstein. Yeah. And then it was Epstein.
The Steens are not too cool. You got, Frankenstein. You got,
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And all that bullshit that they're doing there. Now, obviously, like if somebody turns around and saying, yeah, but this is satanic bullshit, I don't believe that. That's true. Listen, I mean, I'm not too strong on that either, but people do believe in it, right?
Yeah.
There are people who are doing stuff on their convictions, and they're using innocent children. And I'm sorry, I can't say otherwise, because there are children involved, because there's so much facts and everything behind that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sick fucks out there, and these people, I'm telling you, and they're the reason why they're not going to jail is because they're on top of the food chain, and that's the problem. These people are protected. These people have a lot of, you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
listen, it's something where I think people are going to have to ask questions. But like I said, as long as people are on their phones and they, I remember once someone's like, I can't go to McDonald's. I can't go to McDonald's. I said, because you can't go to McDonald's, because that was when the time it was like a curfew here. Remember the curfew?
Yeah, right. Oh yeah.
I can't go to McDonald's. I said, well, then why don't you take some hamburger meat, go like this, and then put it on a frying pan and fry the shit out of it. Oh, but
what freaked me out before we get off here, it is getting late. I wanted to stop at 2 hours. It was an amazing stream packed with information. I hope you're going to come on again, but
if you want me to, I don't mind.
Absolutely. And listen, before I do get you off, I'm not going to get you off. Before you get off, okay, that sounded so gay. But
we're going to talk after the live's done, right?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely, man. I
want you to look me in the eyes and tell me how much you love me.
I've been streaming at, again, tonight again, you dirty sly you. No, listen, for the Friends channel, was it Saturday you said you could not? Because I stream on Sunday now.
Well, I can't do it this weekend, and the next weekend I'm going to Quebec City on the radio show.
Okay.
And then I got a baptism on, and it would have to be in May. On a Saturday.
It doesn't matter. You're going to holler back to me the minute you can. And
okay, great.
You don't have to ask me. It's, hey, you're streaming this week. I'm going to be coming on. Boom. That's it. That's all. Right. There's Elias Valhatla. I want you to meet. You know him a little bit. You saw him a little bit on the side. He's probably going to be sub to you too. He speaks French.
Cool.
On the French channel, I want him to come on too a bit to talk with us. I think it'll be a good trio of interesting conversations. He talks a lot about the Sumerians and the alien side of the cultures here. Yeah, he's got some videos up. So Elias will be with us on that. So anyways, ladies and gents, I'm going to let you go and get off, and I'm going to talk with my friend Jeff Benoit in private about our next show. About our next show. I had to do the laugh. I hope you all appreciated that Jeff Benoit stopped by. There will be some English coming out on his end and his side. Don't worry about it. But still, go and subscribe to his friend's channel. One, it'll help him get more subscribers, since he intends on doing a lot more speaking like we just did. If you find it interesting, subscribe to his friend's channel. You'll see the English link up here. Not instantly, but when he starts doing English stuff or whatever, check him out. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Another.
Yeah. Christy Lindsay.
Christy. Thank you so much, Christy. I love you. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. She's Chinese. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, ni hao ma. Shushu,
Ni
shushu,
hao.
shushu.
Ni hao.
Shushu means thank you. And shushu.
Yeah, and ni hao, hello. I learned that. Ni hao.
Ni hao. Yeah.
You have to say it like that, eh?
Yeah, but you know,
what
then
you do?
their language is so complex, eh? Because they could go, let's say they go, okay, I'm sorry, I'm just sounding the dialect, right?
Yeah, right.
And that means one thing, and they go,
Yeah.
I mean, like, holy
Yeah.
fuck, that means a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So
Inosha. That one,
tone.
I had a hard time learning it. Inosha. And there's certain words that they go up and down. It's interesting. Chinese is incredible when they speak fast. Someone learning Chinese sounds like he's having a heart attack and choking on a hot dog. It's so hard to be able to
repeat
talk.
that what you just said, Bruce?
Chinoha.
How do you spell that?
I have no idea.
They're mad.
Absolutely no idea. All right, ladies and gents, thank you so much. I'll be getting off. You stay on. How do I end the stream and have you stay on? Silly question.
Well, if you want to do it like what I do is like a little like a conclusion, you can remove me off. You can put me back in backstore, and then you can do blah blah blah, and then you just end it. You just press end live.
But now you're in the backstore, so I just end live and you'll stay there, right?
Yeah,
All
exactly.
Right. So, Christy, everybody, thank you so much. And for all the people that I've missed, answering your comments was a bit of a different evening tonight. A more interesting evening. I talked with Jeff Benoit, so you guys got your ears worth of a lot of subjects, and leave in the comment section if there's anything you disagree with or that you want to add to what we said to bring up more information as we all research together. Feel very I had it, tabarnak. Why did I feel at ease? It's I was looking for my English, bro.
Would you like me to help you out here? It says, okay, if you have anything nice to say, we would love to hear. But if you have something not nice to say, well, you could just keep it to yourself.
Yeah. No, not here. I love it. I love it when the big comments come in. I just go to town on them. They hate it. All right, everybody. See you later. You stay there. I'll be right back. Where's the end? There it is. End.